make you feel important. They encourage you to be in church. They encourage you to be in prayer. They encourage you to be in your Bible. Now it's a part of my day every day. My house parents planted seeds in me that you can see where those seeds have sprouted in my life and helped change my life.
Big Oak Ranch, a Christian home for children needing a chance.
A police chase in Troy has ended with the deaths of 2 people in the car that was being pursued. Authorities say the car chase started on Sunday morning near Troy University when officers first approached a car that was parked along Elm Street. The car suddenly sped away before police could get there, and the police chase ensued. The car then ran off the road and hit a utility pole. Both the driver and passenger were pronounced dead at the scene. Their identities have not been released. USA Today has now opened up their top 10 Best Beach Town nominations for readers to determine by way of voting online. Both Orange Beach and Gulf Shores made it into several categories for Best Beach Towns. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
Welcome to Eclectic Coins, Montgomery's largest coin dealer, specializing in buying and selling investment-grade gold and silver coins. And they have a large selection of rare coins and coins from around the world. Visit them at 543 Northeastern Boulevard or on the web at eclecticcoins.com. Eclectic Coins, where collectors who know go.
Yes?
Yeah, I'm Bill. You called about some breakers tripping?
Oh, yes, Bill. My brother-in-law says you can do almost anything.
That's me. Not much I hadn't seen.
Do you really want someone who does almost anything in your electric box? Think about that, because each year thousands of home fires are caused by faulty wiring. That's why you want a professional, like the electricians at Crosby Electric.
Bill, how's it going? Bill, ooh, are you okay?
Oh, yeah, well, I didn't really need my eyebrows anyway.
At Crosby Electric, all technicians undergo rigorous safety training, as well as background checks, drug testing, and continuing education.
Bill, you think maybe I should call a real electrician?
No, these little slip-ups happen. Everybody does it.
Really?
No, not really. When you need professional electric work, or you just like someone to assess your home for safety, call the experts at Crosby Electric, 272-2085, or visit us at crosbyelectric.com.
Hi folks, this is Rick Clark with Clark Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing. I'd like to take just a minute to talk to you about our experience with Blue Water Broadcasting. One of the hot topics in our staff meetings is spending advertising dollars. If your company or firm is anything like Clark Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing, those dollars are limited, so you have to spend them wisely. That's why we choose Blue Water Broadcasting. Our marketing analysis has proven consistently that spending advertising dollars with Blue Water Broadcasting has contributed significantly to our bottom line. And for that, Clark Heating, Air Conditioning, and Plumbing is truly grateful. So, if you want to spend your advertising dollars wisely, choose Blue Water Broadcasting and see the difference.
Our advertisers are our biggest advocates. Call us to find out how radio can increase your bottom line. Blue Water Broadcasting. Local folks helping local business.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome into the program, folks. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Troy Carrico here in the studio with me. How you doing today, kind sir?
Outstanding, sir. Outstanding.
And let's kick off the show today with a candidate for Congress Hampton Harris joining us here in the studio. Hampton, how are you, sir?
Doing fantastic. Thank you for having me here today, Joey.
So let's tell folks which district you're running in, who you're up against, and then we'll get into kind of what you're hoping to do if you're elected.
Awesome, yeah. So I'm running in Alabama's 2nd Congressional District, and it's the U.S. Congress, so it's the district up in D.C., or the Congress up in D.C., and the district is from the Georgia border all the way to the Mississippi state line, and currently has an incumbent, Shamari Figures. He's a Democrat, and we are both the nominees. We don't have a primary, so we'll both be facing off each other here in November.
Now, I ask everybody who does this when I first meet them, and I mean it tongue-in-cheek, but there's a little bit of seriousness. Like, why do this to yourself?
Well, if we don't get involved, if the people don't get involved, no one else is going to speak up for Christ up in D.C. No one's going to speak up for morality. Nobody's going to speak up for freedom if the ones that believe it don't get involved. And that's just the consequence of inaction.
Yeah, and you say, so I was going to ask the basics, you're a Christian?
Christian, conservative, and that's what everything that I have is based around is going to be what the Bible teaches, what the Bible says, and that's where all of my thought process go through. That's where all of my policies come from is back relying on that because that's who I am foremost.
And I can tell you're a young man. How about, give or take, how old are you?
I'm 29 years old, so I'm young, and that's something else we need a little bit more up there. We see people about 3 times my age before they think about running, and so.
And you're married?
I am married. My wife is, her name's Abby, and she is an Air Force captain. She's an attorney, a JAG attorney at Maxwell.
Oh, no.
In active duty Air Force.
JAGs. Getting all the airmen in trouble.
That's right.
Yeah, I know.
It's all the JAG's fault.
I always joke about that. When I was an infantry officer, I said, I don't like JAG officers. They're always arresting my infantrymen and prosecuting them.
That's right.
So, like, how do you think you came by your politics? I like that you're saying biblically based, but, like, when did the bug hit you? When did you start watching politics, and how did kind of your ideas start to form?
I've seen it. I've really been interested my entire life, but didn't really get super involved until start seeing a lot of the policies and a lot of our freedoms be taken away and going, why is nobody standing up against this? And seeing a lot of the people going up there and just not doing anything or being bought off. And it really wanted me to get involved. And I think I have, being younger, I know you think you can change the world a lot more than someone who's been up there for 25 years, that they're a bit more apathetic, just not anything against them, but you become that way when you're up there for that long. So I wanted to get involved and get up there and be able to make sure we maintain the freedoms that we have, because if we don't, then we're sure enough going to see them taken away by those who are power hungry and won't want to have a centralized government system.
Well, and I think you're right that especially for those long in the tooth up in D.C., experience can be the enemy of innovation.
Yes,
that's right.
And I think as much as we need to protect our values and certain institutions, I think we also need a lot of innovation. Not the way we've been doing things in D.C. for way too long is a problem, but I don't want to put words in your mouth or lead you in any direction. So, like, not any particular order. What would be, say, your top 3 issues that are really you're focused on?
Well, number one, and with my wife being in Air Force, one of my grandfathers fighting in Vietnam. He's actually one of 2 that made it home from his platoon. My other one fighting in the Air Force and as a colonel. I have a very soft spot for veterans in our active duty military, and there are so many veterans in Alabama, and the veterans just don't get the care they need. We don't see people getting the both like from the VA as well as other stuff. And there's so many mental problems that people just don't overlook, and we don't get it taken care of. And they fought for us, and we aren't even giving them the basic needs to support what they did for us. So taking care of our veterans and active duty is such an important thing to me. But also being able to have the cost of living come down. We see that being a problem for everyday Americans. You don't know, and I have an economics major, but it doesn't take a degree to see that the Biden era policies were making prices go through the roof. And so we need to make sure that families like me that starting out can afford a home, can raise children, and can have those things. And working to a place where childcare is expensive, and yet we see families that are having to have both couples work even when children are at home and they can't afford the childcare, but they can't afford either other way. And so it's such a high cost of living. So getting that down as well, and then also just morality. I mean, we see people, our current congressman here in this district voted against a bill that protected children who were born alive after a failed abortion attempt. And that's something that should be bipartisan. I mean, these are children outside of their mother's womb, and we're not even trying to protect them. It's something that if we don't fight for it, clearly others are not going to do it for us.
I know you got an economics degree. Tell us a little bit about your background, where you went to school.
Yeah.
I remember from the other night, but I think that
for sure, yeah. I was homeschooled through high school, went to a local college, AUM, for my undergrad.
Right.
So I'm very much a proponent of school choice, whether that's public school having the choice or private school, homeschool, all the different ways, and being able to have the parent have the decision of how their child is brought up, and not the government, specifically not the federal government telling you what your child should be taught and what they should be doing. That should be the parent's responsibility. But that's where I went. I went up to Cumberland Law School in Birmingham for my law degree and got a law degree there. And that's actually where I met my wife, Abby, while we were in law school. So we met there and got married. And so probably it can't ever really win an argument, both being attorneys, but there's a lot of gridlock there, a lot of appeals. But did that and then came back here and opened up a real estate brokerage as well here in Montgomery, and been running that for the past 6 years.
Very cool. And, on the cost of living aspect, it seems like we have to rein in. I'm very much in the camp of let's at least audit the Fed, if not go full Ron Paul in the Fed, or get it back to, there's a guy named David Stockman, says get it back to its original mission as a banker's bank. But
Amen.
Do you think there's too much? I'd imagine if we could audit the Federal Reserve, the amount of money that's been moved around to big players around the globe would be astounding.
It's crazy. And the federal government, trying to get them to do things to make it more affordable is like trying to get, I can't even think of anything that's that absurd. And we need to bring it back to state level or local level, because everything the government gets their hands in gets more expensive. I mean, my parents talk about getting a semester of school for $300. It costs more than that for a semester hour of school now. I mean,
we're buying a house for $42,000 or $50,000 back in the 80s.
Exactly right. And health care. As soon as the government sticks their hands in something to try to make it more affordable for everyone, it goes up for everyone.
We have a saying. Your wife can know this. We're from the government. We're here to help. And if you think you had problems before, wait till you see the solutions we give you.
That's exactly right. And it seems like for the Democrats, it seems that the only option to every single problem in America, they go, we need more government, more government, more government. And they're shooting for total government. And that is not going to be the solution. The solution is taking it away from the government, because that brings it back down to the lower levels. And anything that the government pays for today, it will control tomorrow. And so people need to remember, if you want the government getting involved, then you have to be handing over those rights and freedoms that you currently have with regard to whatever subject that is, and just go ahead and surrender those to the federal government.
Folks, we're talking to Hampton Harris. He is running in congressional district. It's, what is it?
Number 2.
Number 2, yes. Because they keep changing the maps on me.
Flipping it all around.
Yeah. So if folks were out there listening to you, like what they're hearing, want to support you in a certain way, how can they do so?
So my website is HamptonHarrisForAlabama.com, and you go on there. You can sign up for my newsletter. You can donate. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. And get on there and get involved. You can volunteer as well. We're going to need a lot of groundwork out here.
Now, did you watch any halftime show? Which halftime show?
I definitely pulled up the Turning Point halftime show and watched that. That was a really good production. Loved seeing that, and loved seeing the number of viewers it got, seeing America getting involved in making sure that our values are upheld here. So it was really exciting.
What is that? Oh, anyway. But yeah, I didn't watch any of the halftime shows. I had my uncle, who's a priest, we were talking faith, and eating a tasty hamburger, but I think it's kind of amazing how they're... What in the world, man? I think it's amazing how divided the nation is. In particular, when you look at, and I see here on your website, Restore Judeo-Christian Values. Now, that will always, I'd imagine, inform you on your faith. It will inform you on kind of the policies. But how can you help restore that in a way as a representative?
Well, getting up there and representing the values that we hold, and being able to make sure we put God first in everything we do, and in every decision we make at the federal level, and this needs to be at the state level, this needs to be at the local level. Make sure that everything that we're supporting supports the way that God would have us lead. And that's why it's also important for the community to get involved, because in this country, a lot of people think the president's the leader, or the Senate and Congress. And while they are the spokespersons for us, we the people are the leaders. And as the leader of a nation, we have a massive responsibility to ensure that we send someone up there as our spokesperson that supports our values, that upholds Jesus, because no one else is going to do that if we don't get involved. If the church doesn't get involved, no one else is going to support the church.
So you're not in that camp of the Christian who says, oh, don't even engage in the politics.
Not at all. I think it's very hard for us to separate politics and faith, because that is who we are. It's the way we run our work. It's the way we live our lives. It's who we spend our time, is through that love and through those principles of morality. And you can't run a nation without morality. And so they're intertwined and irremovable, to the point that you have to be able to get involved and make sure, because like I said, if you send someone up there that does not support Jesus, they're not going to be standing up for Jesus, and our country's going to turn away and make it to where we see persecution like you do in these other nations, because the consequences of inaction is having whatever it is you love taken away.
Yeah, and I've been in my mind, especially as I've been hearing more and more, and it's what I wrote about this week, I'll read here in a second. I was reading through, of all things, the unenviable task that I imposed on myself, of reading the comment section of the New York Times. It was a profile that was recently done on Senator Brett.
Yeah.
And what I found amazing is so many of the Times commenters were immediately using their own understanding or interpretation of the Bible and Christianity to say that Katie and all the GOP aren't true Christians. And there's something striking to me about how we use sometimes our values as a weapon instead of actually seeking understanding. Now, if I could come down clearly, one thing, we are called to love the stranger, but not to the estrangement of our neighbor, and certainly not using the power that Caesar could have never dreamed of to welcome millions of strangers. So, but what do you make of this shift in our culture? It does seem like more and more folks are turning to the Bible, turning to Christ.
It does. There's a big revival going on, and I think that was exemplified in seeing the response to Charlie Kirk's assassination. There, we can see it spread all across the nation, and I think it opened people's eyes as well to see that someone who's there to spread love, to spread communication, is assassinated for those viewpoints. I think it opened people's eyes to like how far apart we've become, and how much we need Jesus in our lives as a guiding principle and to dwell within us. Because when we don't have that, we see actions like happened over there in Colorado, and it's crazy. And so many people want to keep it out of politics as well, but it's their religion's going to be in politics, whether it's Christianity, whether it's communism, where the government is your God, whether it's Sharia law, whatever it is. It's going to be led by a religion or secularism. Yeah, exactly, that one.
Secularism.
That's right. It's like Porky Pig there.
Yeah, even if you claim you don't worship anything, you're going to end up worshiping something.
Exactly right. And so we must uphold those principles and get involved, because otherwise we are supporting anything else besides Christianity.
That's a really good point. And Joey's he has begun a quest of many things as he searches in his faith, and he always brings in a fresh quip for us. But we both agree on secularism. Secularism is the reason we're here.
That's right.
We've gotten away from what God's mandate was for us, and I still believe, and I don't know how you feel. How do you feel about the situation with, as he said? Yes, we're supposed to love a stranger, but not to our neighbor's detriment. What about immigration and those things that are going on right now? What are your thoughts on that?
Well, we have to have a secure nation. We have to have it to where we protect our nation and have it. And the only way to have that secure is to know who's here and know why they're here. There's a lot of people out there that do not like America, that absolutely want to destroy America.
Absolutely.
And we are a Christian nation, one nation under God. And we have to protect our neighbor by making sure that we know who's here and who's not here. And there are ways, and that's what that app where you sign up to go back, but you are put in line to come back legally. We're not saying you have to go back and sending you back forever or putting them somewhere. It's just saying, let's know who you are, let's know why you're here, and then come on, we love you. But just let's add to America the way it's supposed to be added, and not just guessing who's here, because those people are out there that really want to hurt America, want to destroy America.
Now, one thing every member of Congress needs to have in mind is, how do we make sure we're taking care of my district, my state, and getting investment here in Alabama? What's your idea for that?
For sure. So we need to have a lot of jobs, and the American First legislations are being passed are really good for business. We have the Mobile Port in this district.
Amen.
It's
underutilized, and there's a lot that can be done with that. That's one of my hot buttons.
Exactly
is the Port
right.
of Mobile. Yep.
Something somewhere I saw a report is like 1 in 7 jobs in Alabama is from the port, and so we can bring stuff in here, and through these tariff practices, we're seeing a lot of jobs come. We have the land needed, we have the people needed, we have the jobs creation where we can build cars here. We make the metal here. We can make a car plant, put it down in the Mobile area, put it in Washington County. You can create cars, bring these jobs in, and really stimulate the economy in this district. And then also helping out all the veterans within this district, making sure the VA and have rural health care to where these veterans and all these people can make sure that they have health.
Cool.
Well, we're breezing through this, and for just the first interview, we've covered a lot of territory here. Again, if folks want to donate, especially donate money or volunteer, help you out, how can they do so?
Exactly. HamptonHarrisForAlabama.com. You go on there and you can donate, and it's going to be a lot of fundraising, and every dollar helps because we're going to be facing the machine. My opponent has nearly every dollar he gets comes from Washington, D.C. and the big PACs, and he was funded by family members of George Soros. I mean, we see some deep money that we're fighting here. And so we are going to have a lot of Alabamians coming forward and putting up their money and putting up their volunteer service to make sure we take it back as Alabamians that represent Alabamians, not represent the deep state, not represent the deep money, dark money up in D.C. here.
Here. Well, great to meet you, Hampton.
I appreciate it. It's great to meet you.
Again, folks, we've been talking with Hampton Harris. Again, you can always check out HamptonHarrisForAlabama.com if you want to learn more. And, just text me. We'll have to do this again soon.
That sounds like great. I appreciate you having me on.
We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
Hi, this is Bo Goodson with the Real Estate Minute. Many of the real estate laws have changed recently, and you need to know how this might affect you as a seller or a buyer. As an agent of the seller, the agent owes undivided loyalty and full confidentiality to the seller. The listing agent can recommend repair services and vendors, pricing guidelines, tips to help get your house in selling shape, and negotiate offers and counteroffers for your benefit. A facilitator, which is the new term, cannot suggest a price or counter or recommend anything. They offer very limited services. A buyer agent solely represents a buyer's interest and can recommend mortgage lenders, down payment alternatives, and can suggest an offer price and write an offer. Whether you are selling or buying, you need someone in your corner that's trained to represent their clients. After training over 15,000 agents throughout the state and helped create and close thousands of home sales over 4 decades, get the straight information from Bo Goodson at the Goodson Group, 221-2883.
This is your roving reporter. Today I'm talking with a prospector.
That's right, man. I'm prospecting for gold. You dig?
No, but it looks like you do.
And you know the first thing I'm going to do when I strike it rich?
What's that?
I'm going to hire David Ernest to be my money man.
You mean everyone's favorite asset preservationist?
That is correct, man. I'm going to call him up at 833-596-7233. 833-596-SAFE.
You know, I've heard a lot of good things about David Ernest.
You know, he's the best money man around with over 40 years of experience.
Experience is necessary, especially when you're digging for gold.
That's right, man.
And I can see that you don't have very much experience.
What do you mean, man?
Well, you have the little plastic bucket and shovel like a kid would take to the beach.
Yeah, man. Well, I want to start out small and then kind of pace myself up until I strike it rich.
Well, maybe you should call David Ernest first.
You think he's got a shovel?
Never know till you ask.
I dig, man.
The employees of Adams Drugs would like to thank you for trusting us with your health care in 2025. We look forward to serving you and your family in 2026. You will continue to enjoy the same services such as immunizations, compounding, medication therapy management, delivery service, and wellness clinics, to name a few. Looking for that perfect gift for a loved one? Visit our Emily B. gift shop and find everything from Tyler candles to scout bags. Gift wrapping is available. If you have not visited Adams Drugs and experienced the award-winning customer service, we ask you to consider us for your prescription care in 2026. We have 12 convenient locations to serve you in the River region. 8 in Montgomery, 1 in Wetumpka, Prattville, Millbrook, and Pine Level, Marbury. Please find us at adamsdrugs.net for the location that is nearest to you. Adams Drugs is your local, independently owned Health Mart pharmacy. Health Mart, taking the time to listen and care.
You want your floors to scream new, fresh, and stylish. But if yours are groaning, tired, old, and outdated, you're in luck. Because at Prattville Carpet, you can revitalize your floors while you save on the best brands available with perfect and professional installation and Prattville's unbeatable lifetime warranty.
Hi, I'm Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. If you're looking for carpet, hardwood, laminate, vinyl plank, or ceramic tile, call us today for your free measurement.
Start shopping for your floors right now at PrattvilleCarpet.com.
Prattville Carpet, we're more than just carpet.
Rich Thomas Weather, a service of Riverside Chevrolet Wetumpka. If it's Chevy, it's Riverside. Best price, best selection. Check them out on the web at riversideusa.net.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We've got a warming trend underway starting today. Look for a sun and cloud mix. There could be a few sprinkles, especially early on, with a high temperature up to about 73 today. Partly cloudy, not as cool tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 49. We'll be in the mid-70s on Tuesday, low to mid-70s on Wednesday. I think there'll be partial sunshine tomorrow, then some spotty showers after midnight Tuesday night, and a few spotty showers around on Wednesday as well. But each day this week, temperatures will be 70 or above. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At ASE, we're more than a credit union. We're your neighbors. We live here, raise families here, and believe in giving back. That's why we created ASE Cares, to support, connect, and invest in our community. Because when our community thrives, we all do. ASE Cares, federally insured by NCUA.
If it concerns your community, you'll hear about it on News Talk 93.1. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Now, here's what I was thinking about this weekend as I sat down to write. In fact, there are too many ideas. I was like, well, just pick one, you dope, and run with it. And so I begin, as I always do, with a quote, especially in the last few months, a quote from Scripture. Absalom said, moreover, "Oh, that I were judge in the land, then every man with a suit or cause might come to me, and I would give him justice." This past Friday morning, while waiting, all caught up on waiting on my hair to air dry, I found myself carrying out the dreary, self-imposed task of reading the comments section of the New York Times recent profile on U.S. Senator Katie Britt. Responding to the profile's emphasis on Britt's Christian faith, including her practice of opening her self-annotated childhood Bible every day before 5 a.m., I was struck by how many of the Times readers were so quick to use their own interpretation of the Bible as a weapon to usurp any claim to moral authority from Britt and the GOP. "MAGA reads a very different Bible from the one I grew up with," wrote one commenter. "Even Katie Britt doesn't seem to read the same one, or she couldn't possibly support Republican policies that punish the least of these and throw out the stranger. They all really lost the Christian plot long ago." "You either believe in the principles of the Bible that you study and quote or not," another wrote. "I pray that you start to stand unequivocally for what is right." "I'm so tired of people on the right co-opting Christianity with their cross necklaces," said another. Yet what struck me more than the left's cocksure use of Christianity to tear down Britt's Christianity was how familiar the comments were to things I have heard for years and perhaps said myself in the right-wing echo chamber I have long called home. Indeed, changed the direction of the accusation and the political issues at hand, and the Times comments are functionally indistinguishable from any right-wing rebukes of the left's claim to any Christian moral authority. "The left reads a very different Bible than the one I grew up with," a conservative Christian might say. "A Christian couldn't possibly support Democrat policies that have allowed for and even encouraged the slaughter of millions of children in the womb, while throwing out thousands of years of tradition in regard to marriage, sexual sin, and the structure of the family," another might add. "They all really lost the Christian plot long ago. You either believe in the principles of the Bible that you study and quote, or not. I'm so tired of progressives co-opting Christianity with their reductive socialist WWJD bracelet-wrapped brains, says another. Indeed, both sides of the political aisle in America are as swift to claim the mantle of Christian moral authority as they are to strip their political opposition of any righteous claim to Christianity. Most Americans still claim to be Christian, especially those in political office, yet most American Christians seem to have trouble agreeing upon what Christianity actually entails practically and politically, let alone theologically. This phenomenon suggests two paths for this Christian nation, one hopeful, the other bleak. On the hopeful side of the ledger, perhaps accepting Christianity as the bedrock of America's moral authority is a welcome return to first principles and deep roots untouched by human hands. Perhaps the more that Americans earnestly turn to the Bible every day before 5 a.m. to find answers for their troubles and just causes, the more likely some newly emergent Christian national consensus will bear the blessings of good fruit, a harvest of plenty conceived in God's gift of liberty. Yet, on the bleak side of the ledger, perhaps the use of the Bible to selectively skewer the sins of opposing political causes, but never one's own, suggests the spirit of Absalom is alive and well in the politics of Christian America. Perhaps Absalom is conspiring at the gates, listening and whispering to any who have reason to hear, all while trying to steal the hearts of Americans for personal ambition and resentment's sake, a divine curse fulfilled brought upon by the sins of the father. If only our interpretation of Christianity was the judge over all the land, the American Absalom might say, then every man with a grievance might come to us to find justice. I do not pretend to know which path Americans will take, or which road we may already tread. It is one thing for Christians to have honest disagreements and debates over Scripture and theology, privately and publicly. Such dialogue has existed since the founding of the Church. But woe to the nation that falls under the yoke of those who wield the Bible not to teach men to observe and obey all that Christ Jesus commands, but as a weapon of shameless self-promotion to usurp authority and power simply for authority and power's sake. If we Americans, left or right, only ever use the word to tear down sinners so that we may be lifted up like dirty rags in our own pride and glory, then, just like Absalom, we should expect to be caught up by our own hair and left out to dry. Anyway, that's what I was thinking about over the weekend.
I like it. Yeah. I just asked him, what were you thinking about? He goes, I'm about to read it. And I said, I'll tell you what I like about, again, another good one. The last one you did was absolutely stunning. I thought, I've noticed a development in your writing. You are kind of, at first it was very, very academic, and you're going through. Now you're really telling us how you feel, what you're doing, like drying your hair, and do so. I like that. You're making it very approachable. Very approachable.
Well, and Absalom was very proud of his own long, luxurious locks.
He was.
And I mean, and like
Absalom.
You know, it's something I worry about, and I was struck by how many folks were so quick to go, "Well, Katie Bird's not a real Christian."
What's a real Christian? Like, what is a real Christian?
Well, and then there are some obvious examples, like that crazy broad who said, "Blessed are those who end pregnancies." Like, that's not a beatitude. That is not a path to happiness.
You talk about the Presbyterian minister. Boy, that was a demon preaching up there in that pulpit.
And then there are some like televangelists out there where just to me it screams like,
What does Paul say? Paul says, I think it's in Corinthians, those who chose the path of the cloth to be men of faith will be held to a much higher standard.
And if they're asking for a lot of money, it's one thing to ask for a tithe to help the community of the actual church you're in. It's another thing to say more and more and more and more. And I don't know. There's. It's hard to know sometimes the true bill, but we'll know them by their fruits. But it's especially perilous in politics. Because everybody, especially people that are really good at politics, they know how to say things people want to hear, to put them at ease.
Buzzwords and phrases, that's right.
And I mean, this might be out of bounds, but I would say maybe possibly one of the best apologists ever in all of history for Christ is the devil himself.
Absolutely, sure he is.
Because he knows how to play the game.
He knows the Bible.
And that spirit plays out.
Yeah, you're right.
And also, like, there are a lot of folks who, like Absalom in 2 Samuel, is not without some cause. Like, David didn't punish the brother that forced himself on his sister.
No, he did not.
But that even out of that moment, it becomes resentment, it becomes bitterness, it becomes, I just want to be on top.
Yep.
And I will appeal to anybody and sow division and conspiracy in order to get this done. And we do it officially every time we have an election season here in America.
It's pride and avarice.
But I don't know. I think oftentimes I for all the things I write or might say, or like I saw J.D. Vance in Armenia earlier this morning talking about how it's such a beautiful Christian nation. And I was, especially at that Charlie Kirk memorial, blown away, not just by like Larry Arnn, or Erica Kirk's forgiveness, or Marco Rubio's summation of the gospel was remarkable.
It's a sermon, man.
And it's, I think, refreshing to hear at times. But I think often it's less the spectacle and it is more those 5 a.m. Bible studies or those quiet dinners or those moments that nobody can see that actually defines you. And you can do both. You can do both, no doubt. But anyway, it's something I continue to wrestle with, especially as Christianity becomes more front and center in our political discourse.
You know, I shared with you, I think last week, one of the things that I share this is one of my nuggets of wisdom in my faith that I've went through is I always have, usually in the past, I've had a mentor or someone that has been someone that I aspire to be, and most of the time they are Christian, and some of them very apparently very, very on fire for Christ kind of things, and then they invariably will let me down. And I realize I always felt inferior because I'm growing in my faith. I'm on the potter's wheel, Joey, sort of like you are. And I always would hold myself in. I'm like, I don't think I can do that. But I watch someone make mistakes like infidelity that is preaching to me all these things. And it's like, I don't need to look to you for inspiration. I need to look to the Holy Spirit and Christ and believe in myself.
Well,
and I think
that's
just a growth thing.
It can happen to anybody, and especially those who do put it on, or even if they mean it initially, how holy they are. I mean, recently, like there was a priest here in this archdiocese that was very, pound the pulpit, very by the book, and then he runs off with some young woman.
Oh, so that
completely like drops his holy order as a sacrament, gives up his marriage to the church.
Jezebel.
Like,
Jezebel.
Like, whoa. So, and obviously the abuse scandals, not just in the Catholic Church, but so many other churches.
Listen,
this is, it's going to be interesting to see, again, as this becomes more and more part of the political conversation, because as we talked about last week, it's not as much about how high or how low should the taxes be. It is much more about what is our identity as Americans, what is the story that we share in common, and then sharing that story and that identity, how can we walk forward in practical ways and innovative ways and continue on this great American project with all humility to God Almighty. I think that will be the secret sauce. And in a way, I think America is at its best, not when it's this ho-hum, this this milquetoast moderate. Because moderate for the longest time meant big warfare and welfare state in Washington, spend everybody's money. It'll never run out.
Duress.
But when you think about it, the marriage in particular tends to moderate men and women towards a more reasonable mean. They seem to complement one another in a way that gives full perspective that the one individual, one or the other, wouldn't have.
Right.
And I think America is at its best when both, say, political parties are actually making one another better. Thing is, I think we've had a very much incumbent, established, I call it liberal boomerdom.
We have.
That for a long, long time has ruled the roost.
We have.
They're losing their grip. Trump has been trying to help take away that grip. It's like, don't make me step on your fingers as you're holding on the edge there. But maybe out of this this fight, we will end up better.
Well, America does better under duress. I believe that.
Yeah.
If we believe in this experiment, if we believe in this republic and the vestiges it has, like you said, the courts with their overreaching activity, these things get sorted out through conflict. Remember, because ass-kicking violence solves everything, Jerry.
So that's one today, folks.
There you go.
How many times is he going to say today?
Well, you just brought it up, so I had to throw that in there.
That's fair.
I'm not advocating violence in this matter, but It works. It works.
So, did you watch any of the football? Any of the shows?
Fight. There was the New England Patriots offense was like a 13-year-old girl sleepover pillow fight. It was couldn't do anything.
I was barely watching. Didn't watch the Super Bowl. Like I told Hampton there, like we ordered some Five Guys burgers, ate some tasty burgers, and talked about faith of all things.
Well, good.
Having the vicar general of the whole archdiocese there to like pick his brain.
That's kind of great.
He's also my uncle, who I love very much. Is a pretty cool thing.
That is cool.
So yeah, I saw some clips of Bad Bunny, and I saw some clips of Turning Point's thing and Kid Rock and stuff. My critique of the Bad Bunny thing is, well, number one, it's clearly this in-your-face thing to the Trump victory in 2024. But beyond the politics, it's like, do a frickin' rock concert for the people there at the stadium. What is with this
Jay-Z.
like overproduced TV production where, like, again, they should have retired halftime shows after Prince.
I can't agree.
I guess maybe we wouldn't have gotten Tom Petty after him the next year, which was also pretty great. But you notice earlier this year, I don't agree with this politics. Jack White did a halftime show with Eminem on Thanksgiving. It was awesome. Why? Because it's people playing instruments
not talking
to
politics.
the crowd. And it's not this big over the top, like, if you're sitting there in the stands, like, what am I even looking at?
They don't speak. America doesn't speak Spanish. They don't know
Most
what the hell,
Americans
they don't know what the hell they're saying.
Yeah. Well, and we can get into Trump's reaction and all this other stuff. But I think the Super Bowl, maybe it's just me, the spectacle is played out for me. If it's a great football game, cool. I always will love a great football game. But, like, what commercials are on and, like, how it's become this place of cultural jousting and signaling and positioning, and then all the pomp and circumstance of it, and all the stuff they want to sell you to make your ass fat. Except for, Mike Tyson gave the opposite.
I saw that.
But, like, there's just so much to it that I'm like,
it's not a coincidence that this Super Bowl was in San Francisco. It's not a coincidence that Jay-Z is the entertainment director for the NFL. It's not a coincidence that there was gay marking all over the field, rainbow crap on top of the visage. I'm just saying there was a lot of political machination and imagination. And on top of that, I think the thing that's really just so nice is that Goodell wrote how disappointed he was in the performance of the halftime show versus the competition with the Turning Point event. So
Turning Point did very well for just standing up their own event.
They did. And I don't know. My takeaway from it is this. Bad Bunny, that's the best you could. That's the name you settled on for your icon to be a badass. Sorry. Bad Bunny's coming. Bad Bunny's coming, Joey. How about Feverish Wolf? How about Crazy Capybara? I mean, what's Bad Bunny, Joey? That's not intimidate me.
I don't even know who this guy is other than he was in the latest Happy Gilmore. Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hello.
Hi.
I've been listening to y'all for quite a while now. Well, actually, about 2 months ago, I read what you wrote over the weekend. I call it editorial. I tell you what, you really nailed everything. And I tell you what, I'm 74 years old now, and I've been around the block a few times, and I never thought, I didn't watch the Super Bowl because I figured it would be a bunch of bad stuff, and I'm glad I didn't watch it. I really have heard a lot of comments about it because, last night and this morning, and I think you've done an excellent job, just what you said over the weekend. You were drying your hair and everything. And
I love it. See, he got that.
I had to sneak that in there just to annoy people.
I got 4 grandsons. They all grown men now. They start 28 to the baby's 21. And I'm really concerned about our young people, and we as adults, grandpas and young parents, we need to get back to the basics, which being God-fearing, get back in the Bible, and
Amen.
And I tell you, that's our only hope. That's our only hope. but I do really enjoy your program and listen. Y'all have a good day.
You too.
Thank you,
Appreciate
sir.
you calling.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
See, he cut your
God
hair,
bless
man.
them, Aaron.
Cut your wonderful locks, dude.
Well, they are luxurious long, and it's better if they're air dried.
They are. I asked my friend Brandon, well, how was his hair in high school?
Normal.
He goes, it was normal.
Yeah, it was normal.
I said, okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering.
Yeah, they got a little long middle school.
Well, I saw it long. You showed me some pictures when you were at Auburn.
Oh,
and
yeah.
stuff.
Well, that was actually.
What was it?
That was 2016.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, that was after my mom died, and they're like, "Why'd you grow your hair out?" Melancholy. That grief.
Melancholy and the infinite sadness.
Right,
That's
and
right.
did not
yeah.
take care of it at all, and it was
That's
just
okay,
gross.
man.
Anyway, let's go to line 2. You're on there. Who's this?
Oh, this is Mr. Dummett.
How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm doing fine. How are you, Joey?
Good, I think.
He is.
I had to turn my. I wanted to talk about the best show I've ever seen. I watched the 2025 last Super Bowls, right?
Yeah.
And there is nobody did a better act than Prince. I'm sorry, the whole show was great.
Yes, it was, and it was like with the rain coming down during Purple Rain. It's like,
It was
okay,
incredible.
this is kind of a blessed moment here.
And it's not because I'm a Prince fan, but it was just a great live show. And you notice the Bad Bunny keyword is bad, all right?
That's what I said.
It fit him perfect. I had to turn my smart TV on the closed captions to understand what the heck he was saying.
And apparently one of the songs had really filthy lyrics or something like that.
For the youth.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, apparently it had stuff to do like tossing salad and oral and all sorts of everything you could think of. I was like, what in the world?
What did they give? Why did they make him the act? Did you hear what they said too? They advertised about it. Oh, we're going to be playing 15, 16 more games this year in foreign countries.
Yeah.
Come on, people.
They're trying to expand. They're trying to expand their brand because they're losing it.
It was the sweet spot in the sense of like they can make the excuse of this guy has billions of streams. He's very popular worldwide, and we are reaching out to foreign countries. But
I had to turn on my closed caption. Did you understand anything he said?
no, I didn't watch it. But it clearly was also a middle finger. As soon as they announced it to like the big Trump victory in 2024, this was a corporate America's way of being like, well, we'll show you. I mean, and like this is part of the shtick. I didn't cut you off, Soldier Boy. You can call back at 272-9228. And I've come to expect it.
It's
just like
Kabuki theater, man.
And also, what we now put up with is like good entertainment. And I know every era has a lot of crap. Most movies are crap. Most TV shows are crap.
Right.
Like they might be good enough to where they're endearing to you, and you make good memories
But they're
going
not
with somebody and
classic.
watching
They're
them
not
with
classics.
somebody.
Yeah, they're not classics. Yeah.
No, but like most of the stuff, and now because it's so easy to create entertainment, and we're almost entertaining ourselves
Everybody's
to
got a
death.
studio, yeah.
Like the amount of slop and
garbage.
just garbage, yeah, is. And I'm not talking about just Bad Bunny. I'm sorry. There's a lot of this country stuff that a lot of you
That's
folks
not
like.
country. It's not country. like you're
No,
listening to.
no, like what the hell is this weird crap? How
Bubble gum.
cliche can you be?
Bubble gum, margarita drinking.
What are you going to take your bachelorette party to Broadway?
Yeah, that's stuff.
How cliche can you be?
We ain't seen the end of it yet.
No, there's just so much like that. Anyway, got to hit a break. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Pizza and wings. Nothing goes better with watching basketball than with something to fill up the family from Pizza Perfect. Buy any large pizza and get 10 boneless wings for free. Absolutely free. Pizza Perfect is known for their all-you-can-eat buffet that includes pizza as well as spaghetti, breadsticks, salad, dessert, and drink for only $13. The buffet is available Monday through Saturday for lunch and for dinner on Tuesday, Friday, and Saturday. Pizza and wings from Pizza Perfect in Eastbrook.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com.
Running a facility is already demanding. You don't have time for miscleaning, sick days, or inconsistent results. At Janney King Gulf Coast, we have a proven method to solve those problems. Our franchise owners are trained and supported, and our franchise model means the people cleaning your building care about the outcome as much as you do. If your cleaning company is creating more work instead of preventing it, it's time for a clean that you can count on. Visit JannyKingCleans.com to learn more.
Hi, this is Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop. Listen every Saturday to Winning Wellness and learn from experts in different fields of science and technology how nutritional supplements can help you.
Listen to Winning Wellness every Saturday at 10 a.m.
News and talk without the static. The River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go to the phone. Soldier Boy's called back. How you darned?
Hey, let me ask you a question. Did Kid Rock, I was told that Kid Rock had a mega concert opposite the halftime on YouTube.
Correct.
And how did that go?
And apparently, I didn't watch. I think I might be able to find it here in a second. I think it's over 40 million was the first thing I saw.
It was the biggest live stream in the history of the internet.
Wow.
And Goodell, the NFL commissioner, had some comments saying he was displeased with the performance of, or the fact that they chose to do that during the Super Bowl's thing. So, yeah, it got their attention.
Yeah, I don't have exact numbers here in front of me. I mean, right when it started, there were already 4.7 million watching, but that was just on one YouTube channel. They were streaming it to all sorts of different platforms. And again, I didn't watch it, but
I saw the titles of the songs, and a lot of them were patriotic songs they played.
And also, I was read that Kid Rock almost did like this redemption arc thing with his set, where he did "Bod with the Bod," like the first song he was like, which is a pretty filthy, crazy song. Like, and I remember that from high school.
Yeah, cool.
But more middle school. Oh, I'm getting older.
More like post-college and graduate school for me.
But then he slowly went to where he added a whole verse to one of his songs that was about accepting the cross and accepting Christ. So it was this very interesting redemption arc that he was trying to share in his set. And I mean, God love folks that want to watch entertainment, but I don't know. Like I'm kind of played out for this year.
Did you notice that Bad Bunny? I was watching it for the first 2 minutes of it. He was lip singing everything.
In Spanish, he was lip singing. So.
That's pretty bad, man.
Yeah, it's just.
Oh man, and I just don't understand, why would you have music that 80% of the people don't even speak or listen to or know what the heck he's saying?
Well, because we're reaching out to so many folks, and then, yes, of course, it's also a big passive-aggressive middle finger to all the Trump zeitgeist we live in. But have you seen or read Trump's response to the halftime show?
I did.
I've got it right here in front of me. It says, "The Super Bowl halftime show is absolutely terrible. One of the worst ever. It makes no sense. It's an affront to the greatness of America and doesn't represent our standards of success, creativity, or excellence. Nobody understands a word this guy is saying, and the dancing is disgusting, especially for young children that are watching throughout the U.S. and all over the world. This show is just a slap in the face to our country, which is setting new standards and records every single day, including the best stock market and 401ks in history. There is nothing inspirational about this mess of a halftime show, and watch, it will get great reviews from the fake news media because they haven't got a clue of what's going on in the real world. And by the way, the NFL should immediately replace its ridiculous new kickoff rule. Make America great again, President Donald J. Trump."
Well, he's right about that. They need to get rid of that kickoff rule. They ain't lying. Oh my God.
Well,
that's why they wear.
Yeah.
That's why they wear helmets and shoulder pads, people. They're not rugby people who wear. I mean, you want to see real men play a game? Watch rugby. I mean, you got to have speed, you got to have energy, you got to have endurance, and you get hit.
Yeah, oh yeah. Well, I got some other calls here. Appreciate it, man. Let's go to Simpler Days.
Hey, gentlemen, I just wonder what the people sitting in front of the TV set, in front of that first Super Bowl in 1967, would have thought with that crap that came on there last night. You know, the first Super Bowl, Joey, the theme was patriotic.
Yep.
That was the theme. And they had a very diverse, different groups on there. They had Grambling's band on there. They had a jazz guy on there. They had different groups for different people.
Yeah.
So it wasn't all white, and they even had the jetpack guy come, I think out of the Bond movie, coming up, lifting up. But it was wholesome.
Yeah.
And you could sit your kid in front of the TV and watch it. And if they're going to bring a bunny in there, I hope next year they bring the Playboy bunnies, but that's just my Have a good day, gentlemen.
Appreciate it, Simpler Days. We got to hit this top of the hour break. Y'all stay tuned.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusada, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Investigators on Capitol Hill trying to get to the bottom of the Epstein files and exactly who may be implicated. The DOJ has now decided some lawmakers will be allowed to review the unredacted files on the convicted sex offender. Ride-sharing drivers for services like Uber and Lyft may soon be required to speak English if their companies want to do business with the federal government. Congress Josh Keene is behind the mind of the legislation that seeks to bar non-English speaking drivers from federal contracts, ensuring any rideshare driver can communicate with passengers and clearly understand traffic laws as well. A trial focused on whether Meta misrepresented the safety of its platforms when it comes to exploitation of children gets underway today in New Mexico. On Wall Street, the Dow right now down 27 points. The NASDAQ up just over 200. This is SRN.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-242-3131. 800-242-3131.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. After my husband died, the last thing I wanted to think about was money. Ethos made it affordable to get life insurance. Signing up was fast and 100% online. I knew that I could pay our mortgage and have food in the fridge. I could focus on my kids. No one ever tells you how much you're going to depend on that policy. I am so grateful we had coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by McPhillips Schimbaum.
My name is Aaron Luck, a partner with the law firm of McPhillips Schimbaum. If you or someone in your family has been seriously injured by the negligence of someone else, call me directly.
262-1911. Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We've got a warming trend underway starting today. Look for a sun and cloud mix. There could be a few sprinkles, especially early on, with a high temperature up to about 73 today. Partly cloudy, not as cool tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 49. We'll be in the mid-70s on Tuesday, low to mid-70s on Wednesday. I think there'll be partial sunshine tomorrow, then some spotty showers after midnight Tuesday night, and a few spotty showers around on Wednesday as well. But each day this week, temperatures will be 70 or above. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
At CB&S Bank, we've been meeting the needs of our customers since 1906. Need help setting up new business goals? Our line of commercial loans can help you achieve them. Go to cbsbank.com to find a location near you. All loans subject to credit approval, member FDIC, and equal housing lender.
From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, here's today's top stories.
A Montgomery woman has died in a residential house fire. Fire rescue crews rushed to the 600 block of South Panama Street Friday morning, where heavy smoke and flames engulfed a home. The female victim, identified as 23-year-old Alana Lansley, was pronounced dead on the scene. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. A bill moving through the Alabama Senate would ban gender discussion in Alabama classrooms. House Bill 23 bans discussion of gender identity or sexual orientation in public school for pre-K through 12th grade. HB 23 also requires school staff to call students by their biological sex at birth pronouns. The Montgomery Symphony Orchestra will present a world premiere tonight. The piece is entitled A Time for Jubilee, written in recognition of the country's 250th birthday. The project is funded by a $25,000 grant from the National Endowment for the Arts. A Time for Jubilee premieres at the Davis Theater tonight at 7 p.m. From the Blue Water Broadcasting News Center, I'm Sky Mosley.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu, the daytime coughing, aching, fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's news and views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back to the program. I'm your host, Joey Clark, and it's now tradition. Every other Monday, we have Alan Mendenhall with the Heritage Foundation joining us. Alan, how are you, sir?
Joey, I'm great. How are you?
Life is good, though the whole first hour flew by with folks reacting to the Super Bowl halftime and Turning Point halftime show. I didn't watch either, but I don't know. Did you catch any of these things?
I watched a little bit of both. I was unimpressed by either.
Yeah. I think they should have retired halftime shows after Prince, in my own personal opinion. like I don't know. I find, especially like they, in particular, the Super Bowl halftime show, it was another one where it reminded me of like when The Weeknd did it. It's this made-for-TV thing, and I imagine if you're in the stadium, what am I even looking at here?
Yeah, well, that was what I thought the same thing when I was watching him go through the different tunnels and seeing the different. I was like, when you're watching it from the stadium and looking down, is this impressive at all? And can you understand anything that's being said?
Right. No, but that's the nature of these things. I think the spectacle's a little played out, but in a second, I want to get to what you have out today, because I have not seen the Melania documentary, and I want to pick your brain about it. But first, let's go to what you wrote last week about the RSA, the Retirement Systems of Alabama. Now, I want to set this up in this way. I read your piece in full on air last week when it came out, and you seemed over the moon that I no longer have to deal with this and be in the retirement system of Alabama, and I think you make your point very well in the piece. I had some guy call me right after I read it saying, I love being on this, and I think that a defined benefit package is great, and why would we ever want to change this wonderful thing that I'm taking benefit of? So if you kind of had to make your case to somebody who's in the system, who likes the way it currently works, how would you go about it?
Oh, my goodness. Yeah, you're going to get an earful, but I'm happy to give you one. Okay, sure. So the Retirement Systems of Alabama, the RSA, likes to paint a rosy picture of its funding as stable. This three-legged stool where you have employee contributions, employer contributions, and investment returns. But I'm deeply skeptical of these bureaucracies I think rather than the three-legged stool, it's more like a wobbly chair propped up by taxpayer dollars and overly optimistic assumptions. The RSA manages the teachers' retirement system, the employees' retirement system, and then some smaller funds. They're defined benefit plans promising lifetime payouts. But the reality is they're chronically underfunded. All the big national organizations that analyze this stuff come to that conclusion. They have massive unfunded liabilities that shift the risk onto future generations. So one reason not to like it is you're putting all these burdens on our children and grandchildren. That's first of all. These defined benefit plans, by the way, that's where your employer promises to pay you a specific fixed amount of money every month after you retire for the rest of your life. And the benefit is defined by like a formula, your years of service, your age at retirement, all that kind of stuff. But under the RSA, employee contributions seem reasonable on the surface. They may. Active workers can contribute about 7.5% of their salary if they were hired before 2013. And then because of this unfunded liability problem, there were some corrections made. So you're going to get 6 to 6.2% if hired after 2013, which was the case for me. And these rates are quite low compared to what private sector workers typically put into their 401k retirement plans, which can be up to 10 to 15% when you include employer matches. Also, these contribution rates are fixed. They don't change when the pension fund runs into financial trouble, which means the burden of covering shortfalls falls on guess who? The Alabama taxpayers. So you've got all these people who aren't in the public system having to subsidize this thing that they're not even a part of. So this creates a situation where employees receive guaranteed benefits without bearing much of the financial risk if something goes wrong. And that's not fair to everybody else in the state of Alabama who isn't in public employment. Also, employer contributions are the largest immediate burden. They're funded mostly by taxpayers, again, through state budgets, school funding, local government revenue. The problem is that the contribution rates keep climbing because they have to cover these unfunded liabilities, which I was just talking about. It's a gap between what's promised to the retirees and what the system actually has in assets. So for the retirement system alone, the RSA alone, the portion of employer contributions going just to pay down the debt is almost 12%. So Alabama taxpayers have already paid over $1.7 billion into RSA pensions in the fiscal year 2024, and that's on top of billions more for retiree health benefits, and it's just not sustainable, Joey. Alabama's total unfunded pension liabilities across the state and local systems reached about $22 billion in 2024. That's like that's like thousands of dollars per household being paid off over decades, but it keeps growing whenever the system's assumptions don't plan out. And yet you see people, your caller may have been one of those, they're nice people, I'm sure, but just don't understand what's going on here. And they're in this like Save Our RSA Facebook page, and what they're basically doing, I don't think they're aware of it, but they're basically celebrating that the RSA is ripping off Alabama taxpayers and saddling our children and grandchildren with burdens they'll have to deal with when we're all long gone.
Well, and, I believe like GM, like General Motors really had a huge problem with legacy costs because of these defined benefit packages they had put out for decades. But if only, General Motors could have taxed people, it could have worked.
Exactly. That's what I was going to say. Folks, the folks they're celebrating this on that Facebook page, they may as well celebrate organized theft, legal only because the state is doing it.
But then the shortfall, the unfunded liabilities, are not the folks that are managing this. We'll just get a great return. Like we'll just grow the fund, but then they're even underperforming what, like the S&P index?
Over the last 20 years, all of the public pension funds have. So you got to be skeptical. Investment returns are inherently volatile and frequently fall short of what's needed to close funding gaps. So if markets tank like they did in 2008 when we had the financial crisis, or 2022 when we had post-COVID and we had a Biden administration, unfunded liabilities explode and taxpayers end up covering the difference. So even in the years touted as successful, there were actually really good returns in 2024 by the RSA, but there are always hidden problems that aren't captured in that recorded number, like the management fees and the reality that simple passive index investing might have performed better at even lower costs. So, another thing that's concerning to me, Alabama's RSA funding levels, they remain concerning. Only about 2/3 of the promised benefits are actually backed by assets. So again, the system's just highly vulnerable to economic downturns. It's just not a sustainable system.
Yet, for all the Blue Cross Blue Shields and Alphas and Alabama Power and big players in Alabama politics, it seems RSA, especially under Bronner, is untouchable.
Yeah, so I had this conversation with some legislators a few years ago. What was that, 2023, when we had the anti-ESG bill, the economics boycotts bill, and some of the legislators who are wanting to put out a different bill, which would have required financial fiduciary duty, strict fiduciary duty investments. So investments based not on any kind of ESG criteria, but purely on financial returns. They were afraid that Bronner was going to oppose this, and they were just genuinely scared that he would kill it. And I'm thinking, gosh, Bronner's using his little newsletter rack as this propaganda outlet, and you're scared of it. It's unbelievable how he has convinced people of so many wrong ideas. He's probably the single most nefarious force in Alabama politics today.
Wow. Alan Mendenhall, folks. I like what you're throwing down, Alan. Now, I want to shift back to the cultural stuff, because I've not seen this Melania documentary, and I think I was reading through it a little bit. Your take is, I would say, sophisticated and very interesting on how you're understanding what Ratner and the team were trying to do and showcasing Melania as this great figure. They lean in. It's not some deep dive into like some really troubled part of her past and all this other sad crap. But like I said, I didn't see it. So for folks who didn't see it, how would you kind of describe this documentary?
Okay, so this was great. I loved going to see this film. I loved the opportunity to write about this film. One great part about writing a weekly column for 1819 News is I get to choose these subjects that ordinarily I wouldn't get to write about. So this is awesome. I love going back to my humanities PhD English days. So I think the film looks at Melania as a meta sign, a sign about science. We're talking about semiotics here. And we need to look at what Melania represents in this sort of cycle of imagery in the film. So if you're going into the film looking for a psychological analysis or a narrative plot or a political commentary, you're going in for the wrong reason. What you're getting here is a circuit of images, semiotics, that promote the notion of aura and glamour. If you looked at our celebrities during the COVID era and they were going on TV and they were making themselves look like the average person, or Tim Waltz when he was running for office and he was pretending to be an ordinary guy, putting his camo on and then going and playing video games on a couch in a hoodie, and it just looks so inauthentic because he doesn't really do that thing. Doesn't do that stuff. He's just pretending. Right. Well, what Melania represents is the elevation of standards. She's almost a throwback to the golden age of Hollywood, where celebrities had aura, where they come out fully formed. We never see Melania putting on makeup in the film. We never see her getting ready. She emerges as the Venus goddess, and any time she sort of looks as though she's getting ready, she's already ready. And so there's this aura that comes with her, and what I like about that is it tends to promote the elevation of standards. And to me, I feel as if we have minimized standards across the board throughout society over the last few decades. And what is more basic than putting your clothes on? Everybody puts their clothes on every morning, every day, and it's a basic gesture. And what you wear is a symbolic act. You are trying to convey something about yourself by the uniform you put on. And what she puts on shows a lot of attention to detail, a lot of care, a lot of effort. And she knows that everywhere she goes, all eyes are on her. And so that it's important that she carry symbolic weight when she steps out into the public eye. And she's very aware of that. And she does an amazing job of being graceful, of having that aura, of having that glamour that I just spoke about.
Right, and I love it because, maybe people who know me are tired of me mentioning it, but I'm a massive Prince fan, and he actually had the mystique and had, every album was a completely different concept, yet the same guy, but you didn't see the behind the scenes. You didn't get all the family. It's not what they've done, say, with Taylor Swift. For instance, you see almost too much of so many of our celebrities. Everybody is brought down to earth, but there's got to be an element of how the mainstream press or the corporate media reacted to this film. And for all the cover shoots and all the profiles of first ladies over the years, the one first lady they don't cover that way is Melania. Is shocking to me.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? I read the reviews Saturday morning of the weekend it came out, and I thought, that's it. I'm going to see that movie this afternoon. I'm going to go see the film because I could tell the way the reviews were written. They didn't have any commentary on the aesthetics. It was all about things that would seem to be sort of extraneous to the film. It was all kind of poor amateur film commentary. And I thought, okay, if people are piling on in this way and they clearly haven't read film theory and they're not versed in sort of film criticism, there's a reason why they're writing these pieces. And so I'm going to go see for myself. And I thoroughly enjoyed the film. I didn't really know what to expect going in because the reviews did not prepare me for what I saw.
Now, and you make a distinction that, what's the difference, would you say, between Donald Trump and Melania Trump?
Yeah, so I think Trump is the accessible person. He's the guy that you'd want to sit down and have a beer with if he actually drank. He doesn't drink beer. But he's the guy you'd want to sit down and shoot the breeze with. I'd love to go play golf with Trump. He's accessible. He's personable. He's relatable as a human being. Melania is something else. She's ethereal. She is something that is untouchable. She is floating around in a heavenly sphere like a celestial being, and she only makes brief appearances in public. And so this reinforces the aura she has, this notion of sort of timeless beauty, inaccessible beauty. And it's very manufactured in a positive way. Of course, these are constructed images, but they're deliberately done, and they're deliberately done very well.
Well, reading and talking to you about your review of this film makes me actually want to see it. I kind of have a general rule that I don't care what first ladies think. And it would be a consistent thing. If Kamala had won, I wouldn't give a damn about a single thing Doug would have had to say. But this makes a lot of sense. And I forget that it's Brett Ratner. Yeah. Ratner, who actually put this together, is quite an accomplished director. So maybe I'll have to break my rule and go check this out.
I think it's worth your time. I really do. I mean, obviously, people who hate Donald Trump and hate the Trump family and hate this presidency probably aren't going to just have the best time of their lives when they go see it. But if you're a neutral observer, or if you're anybody that's supportive, you're going to have a good time watching this film.
Now, if folks want to follow up with your work, of course, they can always go to 1819news.com. Your op-eds drop on Monday mornings. But if they say want to follow what you're doing at Heritage Foundation and all the work there, especially on markets, how can they do so?
Yeah, well, you can always go to the Heritage Foundation's website. We just launched a new project last Monday, which is the Free Enterprise Initiative. So our capital markets initiative has sort of expanded beyond its original scope, and we're going to be doing the Free Enterprise Initiative, which is all kinds of economic activity from sound money to property rights. And you can go visit that initiative on the website, or you can just go to my personal website, which is www.alanmendenhall.com.
Well, I appreciate it, Alan, and we'll talk again soon. Thank you, sir.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate having me on.
Again, folks, Alan Mendenhall, always love his insights and his time and just the man's general sense of style. He's got style for days.
You know, I wanted to, I know that you had the interview planned. Just two things I wanted to say to him. Number one, I came to his aid trashing the guy that was blasting him. I trust people, the experts the state give us for money. And I'm like, oh, really? I don't know if you saw that someone blasted Alan on he put it out there. And I was like, let me explain something to you about the state of Alabama's fiscal responsibility and ethics. I said, I wouldn't give them any of my money to handle there. And then I have a good friend who has served as a former cabinet member of the governor's, and I won't say who it is, and I won't say what, but it was under Bentley. He's told me that the most powerful person in Alabama is the commissioner or the director of the RSA, and it's a very. I wanted to ask him, do you know how it works? What's the tenure for him? He's been there forever. Apparently, he's untouchable in that regard.
Pretty
much. So interesting.
Oh well, we got to hit a break here. This part of the program brought to you by Invista Advisors. And so if you're looking for a great firm, a great company that is ready to not only help you with, say, that investment portfolio, looking how you might want to manage your assets, they also can help you with financial planning. They offer personalized financial planning services there at Invista Advisors with a high level of experience. They have a collaborative, multidisciplinary team approach. So their team includes CPAs, business consultants, and investment advisors. They're all working together to provide a comprehensive approach to financial planning and asset management. And so wherever you are in life, could be you're just starting out with a family and want to get everything in order, especially things like life insurance or a plan for how you're going to take care of the kids as they get older, especially if you're thinking about college or other things you want to invest in on their behalf. Could be you're in the middle of life and most of your money's tied up in a small business or even working a nonprofit or endowment. They can help you in that regard. And, of course, any end-of-life concerns, they got your back. Not to mention, again, that great investment advice. So, y'all check out Invista Advisors today. You can always learn more at InvistaAdvisors.com or just start the conversation direct at 387-0094. Again, that's 387-0094. And be sure to tell Invista Advisors that Joey Clark, that fellow on the radio, sent you.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
"2026 marks 60 years that hope has had a home in Alabama. At the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches, children who've lost everything through no fault of their own have found something priceless. A safe place to live, a loving Christian family, and the chance to simply be kids again. Here, boys and girls grow up surrounded by care, guidance, and faith, learning right from wrong, learning responsibility, learning they are valued and that their lives have purpose. As the Alabama Sheriffs have believed for 6 decades, it's easier to build boys and girls than to repair men and women. These former ranchers are now teachers, parents, business owners, and leaders, living proof that love, structure, and faith can change a life forever. As the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches celebrate 60 years of serving Alabama's children, you can help ensure the next child has the same chance. Learn how you can make a difference at alabamasheriffsyouthranches.org. 60 years of building lives, and we're just getting started.
What's your biggest investment? More than likely, it's your home. So treat it that way when you hire a painting contractor. With PBS Painting, there are no gimmicks, no $99 specials. Just quality painting and someone who treats your home with the same respect that you do. At PBS Painting, we have been painting for years and look forward to many more years to come. With PBS Painting, the job gets prepped properly, whether it's cleaning, scraping, or priming. We always use quality products, which is a must for a quality paint job. So if you're looking for a painter that doesn't need upfront money and is on the job at all times, then please give me a call. Scott Bowers and PBS Painting, 294-5122. That's PBS Painting, 294-5122. Look at some of our work on Facebook at PBS Painting Montgomery.
Mark your calendar. Every first Thursday of the month, Epicure and Jack's Tavern host an all-you-can-eat raw oyster shucking party. Fresh oysters, skilled shuckers, a great crowd. Tickets are required and available at epicureandjackstavern.com/event calendar. Epicure and Jack's Tavern. One night, all the oysters you can handle.
Oh, how's that flu, babe? Did you take Dayquil Intense Flu yet?
Nah, I got this. Ugh, okay, I don't got this.
You stay on the couch, and I'll grab the Dayquil.
Undo your flu symptoms with Dayquil Intense Flu. Dayquil Intense Flu provides powerful relief of your flu symptoms.
I'm ready for that to-do list.
Wow, you do got this.
Dayquil Intense Flu, the daytime coughing, aching fever, under your flu medicine. Use as directed, keep out of reach of children.
Are you tired of the mainstream media's biased reporting? Do you want to stay informed on the news that really matters to you? Look no further than 1819 News. At 1819 News, we bring you the latest in Alabama news, politics, sports, culture, and more. We've assembled a team of journalists with Alabama values dedicated to the truth and the truth alone. Visit us at 1819news.com today. That's 1819news.com. Subscribe to our newsletter. Honest News, Alabama Values. This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
The River Region's first and only news talk station on FM. Live, local talk. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Troy Carrico here in the studio with me. And man, the reactions from across the board, like they're on this stupid halftime show there for the Super Bowl.
I know.
This is a clip of a grandma. And grandma is just like, what in the hell am I even watching here? She's having none of this.
She looks like she's in a hospital bed, too.
Let's check this out.
I'm like, who is this man? Golly. He can't sing. I mean, like, what is this?
Thank you, Jay-Z.
Please. This is ridiculous. And got the American flag and all these other flags. And yeah, God bless you too. Get off the stage. Please get off the
stage. Then I'm seeing here, like some grown man at a bar has a total meltdown because the bar he was in wouldn't play the Bad Bunny halftime show. They were instead, they had the TVs on the Turning Point USA All-American halftime show.
I love it. Love it.
What was supposed to be a proud moment for me and my people was taken away tonight. The Zoo Sports Bar and Grill in St. Pete, Florida. The man whined on TikTok. Oh, goodness gracious. And again, like I said, I just took the time to, talk with family.
Yep.
That is, I think...
That's the best.
Better than getting too worked up over all the halftime show antics and all the commercials, and isn't that clever? Isn't that blah, blah, blah. Though I will say one jumped out at me. One commercial was Budweiser's.
Yes, that's what Robin goes, Troy, you need to watch this again. So she sent it to me.
It was kind of like, cool. Talk about a course correction.
That was a clear, we are planting our flag as conservative, screeching eagle people, right. Man. It was great.
We went from Dylan Mulvaney, that
and frat house feel, right?
Yeah, and then I guess they brought in Shane Gillis and Post Malone to try to soften the Bud Light label back to normal bros. It helped a little bit, but this Budweiser commercial is like how Americana can you get? Okay, I'm like, wait, Freebird, Clydesdale, is that a baby eagle? Yeah, and then the eagle develops, and then as the horse jumps, it's like the eagle spreads wings, and the horse himself is flying.
Riding on his back.
I'm like, man, that's
kicking violence right there. Is what that is, buddy. That's two.
That's two today. But it's like, okay, they did. They are like, we're sorry.
Please, we're sorry. America. We love America. We love eagles. We love Clydesdales.
Let's go to line one. You're on there. Who's this?
Hey, it's John. How are you doing today?
I'm all right, John. How are you doing?
Good. Just wanted to weigh in on a couple of things. From earlier, you were talking about, they had this segment about Melania Trump. And, I saw a list, Joey, that said it had a ranking of the most beautiful first ladies. And this list had her, had Melania about, fifth or sixth or something like that. And it actually had Michelle Obama ahead of her. Now, Michelle is an intelligent lady. She's well-spoken, but she ain't good-looking.
She's a man. Wait, that's Macron.
No, and that's just where you're like, that doesn't even make any sense. Melania's at the top of the charts in terms of just objective looks.
Yeah, and Jackie O was a beautiful lady.
Yes.
And there have been some that were attractive, but good grief in the morning, Michelle Obama. That was
Wait, where did they put Barbara Bush?
Oh, she was like 10th or something like that. I mean, come on.
Barbara Bush, that's
Now, Laura
terrible.
was attractive.
Sure.
But she wasn't. I mean, but you got to be kidding me. Melania she's a supermodel.
Yes, it literally is supermodel, and they act like
Literally a supermodel, and they put her down below Michelle. And I know anybody can make up a list. I get that.
Right.
But doesn't that show how incredibly biased and unthinking they are when they do something like this?
Or they,
I mean,
so much of it is, I think, we're not actually saying things we think are genuinely true, but we know that if we put this in this way, we're going to influence other folks to think it is. Like, it really is like part of it is piss off a lot of people and then give a bunch of other people the fashionable talking points that you must carry if you want to be a good, person in standing in the liberal cause or whatever.
Well, I guess I'm just not that deep to think that far about it. But anyway, and another thing about the halftime show, I watched Turning Point like many, but what are the ratings on Turning Point's alternative as opposed to the other one? I mean, I know it's going to be dwarfed by the other one because of how people are, but and because you had a couple 100 million people, I guess, watching the Super Bowl. Maybe that's not even, I don't know, but hundreds of millions of people watching the Super Bowl, and I'm sure it's a lion's share for them. But have they said anything about Turning Point's ratings?
I don't know off the top of my head. Pretty good.
I know that Goodell, the NFL commissioner, posted on X lamenting the fact that he thought it was bad taste for them to do that against the time slot that they were in, and apparently he was they said he was pretty upset because the high ratings that they got out of that. I think 40 plus million. I think the largest live stream ever in the history of the internet.
And I'm actually throwing it at Grok right now. When it first started up, there were 4.7 million on just their YouTube page. But that was just concurrent, like, viewers, not all viewers who maybe watched later. And that was just that one particular YouTube channel. They streamed it on all sorts of different platforms. So in the millions. I don't know if it broke into the tens or 20 millions, but I'm waiting upon an answer here.
Well, I mean, I would think that they would want it to be dwarfed by the other one.
Okay, so the current YouTube count is, I think, 19 million plus. So it's a lot of folks tuned in. Maybe not live right as it started, but a lot of folks. Let's see here. It looks like on YouTube it peaked at 6.1 watching as it was happening live, 6.1 million. But yeah, that's about it.
What about TBN? Because there were a lot of people that watched. We did, and a lot of other people watched on that too.
Yeah, they did.
Right, and
I mean, millions and millions of people.
Well, and you're looking at approximately another 3 million viewers on X, another 2.2 million on Rumble. TPUSA spokesperson Andrew Colvick claimed about 25 million total views across YouTube and Rumble alone, noting that many watched in groups, potentially increasing the actual audience size. So I think it was enough, and especially to Troy's point where it annoyed Goodell, which is always a good day when we can annoy that dial tone.
Well, let me make a point about Goodell, okay, and his intellect. Have you watched an NFL kickoff?
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
That's about the silliest thing I've ever. I mean, I'd rather them just not even pretend and just put it on the 25-yard line.
Right.
Not even have one.
Right. Yeah. At this point, it's just a formality, and they can always kick it through the end zone. Like, what in the world is it?
So, yeah, I mean, just do that instead of pretending. It's kind of like the Pro Bowl. That's his brainchild, too.
Oh, and they're just worried about lawsuit after lawsuit from traumatic brain injuries, and I think that's why they pulled back. It's why they've got the ridiculous. Sometimes targeting is very clear cut, but sometimes it's so ticky-tack, especially with the quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Hey, I got something for you. I got something for you here on numbers. This is on NPR's website, and so you got to consider the source. But it did say that the Nielsen ratings started to come in. It looks like it was dwarfed The Super Bowl dwarfed it. They believe that the Super Bowl is expected to exceed 135 million views.
It's a Super Bowl.
Versus the maybe about 10 million if you combine all the different platforms. So there you go.
Okay. Well, that gives us an indication on it. I think it's worth doing.
I do too.
Now, are any of y'all watching the Olympics?
Yeah, I'm watching some of it.
John, you watching some of it?
Yeah, we have a Norwegian kid living with us. He's an exchange student, so yeah, we're paying close attention to it. Norway's doing real well.
Of course
right
they
now.
are. They're really good.
Yeah.
That's in their backyard almost, up in the mountains. But, you know, I don't know if you guys saw the you've got athletes representing the United States speaking out against their
Yeah,
mixed
well,
feelings.
one guy
That's
after Trump
problematic.
hit him is walking his comments back, so we can get to that in a second. Well, I appreciate the call, John.
Sure, take care, buddy.
Thanks, bud.
272-9228. Yeah, no, and I mean, there are certain, there's a certain Dutch speed skater, and she has made speed skating very popular amongst gentlemen in particular.
really good.
Well, I don't know if gentleman's the right word.
adoring
There's definitely
fans. Adoring fans.
And what, Lindsey Vonn, right out the
what was she
gate.
doing? Why'd she do that, man?
And it wasn't the ACL. She ended up, I think, had to be medevaced out, and she had immediate surgery for a broken left leg. This is a nasty, nasty fall. And when you're 40-something years old, stuff breaks.
You already torn your ACL.
Yeah.
Okay, so you just get it juiced up with a little bit of rich blood platelet and some cortisone and some steroids, and then you go down that hill. That's a recipe for disaster. And you know what she's thinking? I'm near the end of my career. I'm going to give it a try.
Well, and that's the problem with being a great athlete. And you see it in football, you see it in
knowing when to stop.
Basketball. Like, yeah, you're so, like, especially when you're great. Like, that's you. That's your
right.
identity.
That's
this is what I do. And to have that voluntarily, taking that away from yourself, can be really rough. And it's why you see a lot of folks come out of retirement, or it's why Michael Jordan played for the Wizards. It's why Montana didn't hang it up with the 49ers.
So when Mike Tyson came back and fought Jake Paul. Oh, wait a minute. That's different.
That was awful.
That was terrible.
That was so bad.
He could have knocked him out.
He wasn't even trying. He wasn't even trying. It's so obvious.
I hate that, but you know what?
Yeah.
That's boxing.
But he did get to moon the entire world on Netflix.
That was great.
Goodness gracious. And yeah, to your point, there's this Hunter Hess fella.
Yeah.
Well, first let's play the clip that got the president a little bit upset.
Okay.
He's an American freestyle skier. And now, again, just like all the celebrities, like your Billie Eilishes at the Grammys, most of these, like, Olympians are young, dumb, and full of ideas that aren't their own. And, like, why are we asking them about any and expecting anything from them about actual politics? But here's what he initially said the other day.
It brings up mixed emotions to represent the U.S. right now, I think. It's a little hard. There's obviously a lot going on that I'm not the biggest fan of, and I think a lot of people aren't. If it aligns with my moral values, I feel like I'm representing it. Just because I'm wearing the flag doesn't mean I represent everything that's going on in the U.S. So yeah, I just kind of want to do it for my friends and my family and the people that support me getting here.
What's with the vocal fry, bro?
But because he's Valley cool. He's Valley cool.
Cool. But Trump responded saying, U.S. Olympic skier Hunter Hess, a real loser.
That's it. That's a kiss of death for you, man.
U.S. Olympic skier Hunter Hess, a real loser, says he doesn't represent his country in the current Winter Olympics. If that's the case, he shouldn't have tried out for the team, and it's too bad he's on it. Very hard to root for someone like this. Make America great again. And after the president called him out, and I'm sure a few others, he finally put out a statement on Instagram saying, I love my country with an American flag. There is so much that is great about America, but there are always things that could be better. One of the many things that makes this country so amazing is that we have the right and the freedom to point that out. The best part of the Olympics is that it brings people together, and when so many of us are divided, we need that more than ever. I cannot wait to represent Team USA next week when I compete. Thanks to everyone for their support.
You know how he's an amateur athlete, right? He talked too much to the media.
Yeah.
He didn't have an agent saying, you don't say those things.
Yeah, like, I don't know. Like, I'm not looking to Olympic athletes for
inspiration.
Or just for any comment.
Bruce Jenner, when I was a young man, Bruce Jenner was a Greek warrior. You know,
What
happened?
How
to
did
him?
Bruce medal like in the decathlon?
In decathlon, pentathlon. He's done several.
Yeah, and to do that with
he's
those
on the Wheaties box.
Yeah,
and,
and to do that with those heaving breasts. Oh wait, that was later.
It's hard to imagine. Oh, see, women can do anything a man can do.
No, seriously,
Anything
be able
you
to
do,
pole
I can do
vault
better.
that way. I was like, that's impressive.
It was
He added some weight and he still got ups.
It's some biggest.
Anyway, what a time. It does sort of feel like everything's a battleground for the political and cultural war and battles going on right now.
It's spiritual warfare, Jimmy. Joey, I believe it's spiritual warfare.
Jimmy?
I don't know why I would call you Jimmy. Jake. I mean Joey. Traumatic brain injury, man. Ass-kicking violence. Too much ass-kicking violence. That's 4.
That's 4.
It's on my brain. I'm sorry, but that's what's up. But no,
yeah, we've kind of got it over-under now every time Troy says that.
Stop that. Oh.
AKV.
That's violence on the objective. Yeah.
Well, we got to hit this break here. First, this entire hour brought to you by Alabama Home Mortgage. And they're at Alabama Home Mortgage. Kim Williams and Madeline Cannon are ready to help you. Whether you're looking to buy a home or refinance your current home. And if you're a veteran, they can especially help you. They pride themselves on knowing the latest with the VA home loan programs and really love being able to help veterans who don't realize they have these benefits available to them. The best deal in town.
Absolutely.
Again, whether you're looking to purchase a home or if you're looking to refinance that current home. And with interest rates moving in the right direction, now is the time to at least start the conversation, whether you're looking to buy or refinance. Just call up Alabama Home Mortgage, start the conversation at 567-4223. That's 567-4223. Or you can visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. There is a difference in mortgage companies like Kim and Madeline. Prove that to you today. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender. We'll be right back.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings 6 till 9 and afternoons 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Hi, I'm Carl Schmidt, naturopath and owner of the Herb Shop Wellness Center at 8161 Vaughan Road. You know, with over 30 years experience in natural wellness, I've seen countless health fads come and go. A few years ago, we added a patented technology that actually activates your stem cells. It reverses the aging process at the cellular level. However, you do need proper hydration and targeted nutrition. At the Herb Shop, our advanced scanning and testing technology allows us to accurately assess your nutritional needs and get a customized plan for you. Come in today and see what the Herb Shop can do for you.
This is your roving reporter. Today I'm talking with a prospector.
That's right, man. I'm prospecting for gold. You dig?
No, but it looks like you do.
And you know the first thing I'm going to do when I strike it rich?
What's that?
I'm going to hire David Ernest to be my money man.
You mean everyone's favorite asset preservationist?
That is correct, man. I'm going to call him up at 833-596-7233. 833-596-SAFE.
You know, I've heard a lot of the good things about David Ernest.
You know, he's the best money man around with over 40 years of experience.
Experience is necessary, especially when you're digging for gold.
That's right, man.
And I can see that you don't have very much experience.
What do you mean, man?
Well, you have the little plastic bucket and shovel like a kid would take to the beach.
Yeah, man. Well, I want to start out small and then kind of pace myself up until I strike it rich.
Well, maybe you should call David Ernest first.
You think he's got a shovel?
Never know till you ask.
I dig, man.
This is Jennifer Pestruccelli, General Sales Manager and co-owner of Blue Water Broadcasting. We're home to 7 radio stations at a rapidly expanding digital marketing platform, and we're looking for our next great sales professional. At Blue Water, you'll build customized campaigns that include radio and targeted digital marketing solutions. You'll prospect new clients, manage your own accounts, and work in a fast-paced, creative environment. Media or digital sales experience is a plus. Send your resume to jobs@bluewaterbroadcasting.com. Blue Water Broadcasting, local folks helping local business.
This hour of news and views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by Wiley Sanders Truck Lines.
Go to work for a family that puts God and family first. Wiley Sanders is looking for experienced dump truck drivers. Call them today, 855-777-9785. Drive for Wiley Sanders Truck Lines and be part of the family.
Rich Thomas Weather.
Hi, everybody. We've got a warming trend underway starting today. Look for a sun and cloud mix. There could be a few sprinkles, especially early on, with a high temperature up to about 73 today. Partly cloudy, not as cool tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 49. We'll be in the mid-70s on Tuesday, low to mid-70s on Wednesday. I think there'll be partial sunshine tomorrow, then some spotty showers after midnight Tuesday night, and a few spotty showers around on Wednesday as well. But each day this week, temperatures will be 70 or above. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Budget Floors and More has the best prices. Carpet as low as 69 cents per square foot. LVP starting at $1.29 a square foot. Sheet vinyl as low as 65 cents per square foot. And the lowest prices on flooring installation supplies. Budget Floors and More across from Del Rey to Publix.
Live, local talk. The River Region's most trusted voice for news and opinion. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Troy Carrico here in the studio with me. No, but in all seriousness, is there a particular, say, Olympic event in the Winter Olympics that you're really big on, like figure skating, right?
No, not figure skating. I mean, I respect it.
I did not want to watch figure skating. It was only live, but I did catch a clip. Apparently, the dude who won
he's
did
great.
a backflip.
Did a quad.
Well, and he did a backflip and landed on one blade. I'm like, okay, that is impressive. Good for that guy.
His name is Ilya. He's got a foreign name. He's from Vienna, Virginia, but I'm thinking he may be from Austria too. So
yeah, on Saturday I pulled it up. I watched some with my grandfather, and some downhill skiing was going on, which is fun. Some snowboarding, big jump snowboarding,
curling.
In curling, we watched some curling.
We won the gold. America won the gold over Canada.
I love seeing that.
That's a big deal.
And curling's fun to watch, actually, because it does remind me of shuffleboard and when you're getting a little drunk ski at the bar.
Or cornhole. That's just the worst name for a game.
It really is.
Would you like to play some cornhole with
No,
me?
I would not.
No, I don't want to go camping either.
Yeah, exactly right. But I don't know, like the big high-profile events that I kind of have a thing for the luge.
I like the luge.
And like any of those.
Bobsled.
Or what's the one where you're like laying on your belly? That one seems the craziest to me.
That one I'm not familiar with.
Yeah, it's got a particular name. It's the same sort of, you're going head first on your belly. And it's pretty nuts.
I like hockey.
Hockey's all right.
That's always good. And then
hockey's, to me, it's only watchable in person.
Yeah, true. But
unless you're a huge hockey fan and like that's your
soccer.
thing. Right. Like in person, I think it's amazing, but yeah.
The other one I really like too is I like the oh wait, never mind. That's in the summer.
No, what you can say about
I was just thinking about javelin throw.
Javelin,
that's not
shot put.
You know, think about this. So the Greeks gave us the games.
Yeah.
And the idea of bronze, silver, and gold comes from, I believe it was Aristotle, wasn't it? Aristotle who said there's three types of men. No, it was Plato. There's three types of men. Those made of gold, silver, and bronze.
Mm-hmm.
There's only a very small percentage of gold, a little bit more of silver, and then the rest of the world is bronze. And I think people don't even realize that, but I don't think they had any Winter Olympics in mind when they did it.
No, not in their time. And I think they raced naked.
They did.
Yeah,
into
the Greeks
stadium,
are very
into the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And then they rubbed stuff all over each other's backs and stuff.
The Greeks, they got some issues, man. They had some brilliant insights into the world in so many ways.
What do you think that went wrong at, though? How can you got this pinnacle of civilization in Western? What the decadence of it, or what?
I will lean on Justin Martyr, who's trying to appeal to the Romans.
Yeah.
And this applies to the Greeks just as much.
Right.
And he says that you call us atheists, but we actually believe in the Almighty God, whereas you don't put to death for just being a particular thing, like all these folks that worship or deny worship all the pantheon of the gods. You don't even actually take out actual atheists. You're only calling us atheists. But my theory on all these other gods is demons came down, and you accepted them by the names that they themselves wanted, and they taught you many arts, and it's a shame that how much they've influenced you. And I think that's partly the men of renown in ancient history That's partly what was going on there.
And again, thank you for quantifying it with with some pontification and the actual writings of it. But I believe it was, again, spiritual infiltration by dark forces.
But again, like somebody like an early church father like Justin Martyr leans on the Greeks. In fact, he says
the Bible,
those same demons put Socrates to death because Socrates was honestly questioning them.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And that Socrates was anticipating the first prime mover. He was anticipating a god of the universe, a single one. And so, there's a lot good to be taken away. And I think athletic competition is man and woman at some of our best. Like, it really is incredible. Though, I mean, it's a shame because there were stories that came out before the Olympics started just this last week or two where a lot of Olympians, they get gold even, and then they're in the down and out, and like they got to sell their medals, and
crazy.
The glory goes away. And unless you get like really good endorsements and you invest that money you get from those endorsements and think it through, a lot of these great amateur athletes end up not doing great.
Well, think about it. These are amateur athletes. They're not on a payroll. They're not getting, they have patrons, they have sponsors, but what is your calling if you're a master loser? What do you do with that in your off time,
Right. Anyway, we got to hit this break. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
We get this question all the time.
Do you handle that?
Buying or selling a home?
Yes.
Commercial?
Yes.
Land or investments?
Absolutely. Hannah and Eddie Realty Group. One team.
Every real estate move. 334-322-0662.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Alabama Home Mortgage. Alabama Home Mortgage, 567-4223. Visit them on the web at myalabamahomemortgage.com. NMLS number 1586368, an equal housing lender.
The River Region's News Talk station. News Talk 93.1. WACV. News Talk 93.1.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones. Talk to Michael Cohen with Cohen's Electronics and Appliances. Hey, Michael, how you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
Life's all right. We were just talking the Olympics. Is there a favorite Olympic sport you like watching on one of your big TVs there, Cohen?
Well, what we got to watch a little while ago was the ice skate race.
Ooh, the speed skating.
Speed skating.
Yeah, that's high intensity.
That was high intensity, and the way that they do it, it just looks like they just glide. they look like they're moving in slow motion, but they're going very fast.
Now, what's the medal count there today at Cohen's?
Oh, the medal count, it's like 14. It's been good. Getting a lot of our customers taken care of with new deliveries. Michael Jack's got some stuff handled this morning. And then we've also got our technicians are out getting everybody's washers and dryers going, and all the other appliances as well.
Well, folks, if you're looking for maybe a brand new fridge, washer, dryer unit, or brand new TV audio solutions, and before you know it, you're gonna want to be outside grilling. Heck, you might want to go ahead and get a Traeger and smoke something even in the cold. Like they got it all there at Cohen's.
That's right. That's right. Lots of opportunities. You can do the pellet grills with Traeger. You can do gas grills with Napoleon, or you can do a Kamado Joe grill, which is more of an old school with charcoal and a good smoker.
Yeah, sometimes especially on a steak, it's hard to beat good charcoal.
That's right. That's right. But everybody's got their own preference, and we're just here to help you make the right choice for whatever preference you have.
So folks, you can always learn more at thinkcohens.com or I suggest just stop by 2515 Eastern Boulevard here in Montgomery. They're open 9 to 6 Monday through Friday, 9 to 4 on Saturdays. And find Michael and be like, hey, I heard you on that radio show with that Joey Clark fella.
That's right. That feller, he does pretty good on the advertising.
We're working at it. We're shooting for gold.
Yes, gold. That's all we want.
Yeah, I'm trying
Who else wants gold? My Uncle Donald. He takes gold to the next extreme.
No, Laura Ingraham walking toward the new White House decorations with him, and he's like, by the way, no, Laura, these are real gold. People like to do the fake crap. Doesn't look the same. It's got to be real.
That's right. There's none of this plastic stuff from China.
Don't gild it. Actually gold it.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it,
All right.
Michael. We'll talk
All
again
right.
soon.
All right. Have a good day.
You too. I guess we got a whole hour left. I don't even know what we're going to talk about because honestly, it is a little bit of a slow news day. It's more just a day of reaction to a lot of the entertainment and spectacle of yesterday evening. Spectacle, I think, is the word.
Yeah, I agree.
Where it's just like, and maybe it's me just becoming an old man at heart, but it's like, how many things are you going to try to sell me? How many things do I actually need that you're throwing at me?
Well, maybe they're things you don't have that you don't realize you need that you want. Yeah.
Well, and then it'd be one thing if they're trying to sell me stuff because, I might buy it. But it's a whole other thing. Like, how many times are we going to see, like, Ben Affleck and Tom Brady in a Dunkin' Donuts commercial?
So that was terrible.
Like, I'm never going to Dunkin' Donuts. Even when I was in Boston, I'm not going to Dunkin'.
Tim Hortons is better than Dunkin' Donuts. It's Canadian.
So, while I was in Boston, we saw on the interstate these two folks get in a fight as we're going, like 70-something. One threw an entire coffee of Dunkin' Donuts.
That's good coffee.
At the other car. And we're like, whoa.
When in Rome, do as the Romans do.
Yeah.
Hey,
Anyway.
did you see them on it about the Super Bowl ads? Yes, Robin, the Budweiser ad was great. I agree. Did you see that Matthew McConaughey got just trounced by the comment section? People was over Uber Eats.
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, they said tired of this. Dude, it was bad. It was like they said that they had tens of thousands of people drop their Uber Eats account over it. Look it up. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
I get tired of seeing him around there down on the field with the Texas Longhorns getting beat. The greatest thing I can remember about Matthew McConaughey always being on the field with the Longhorns is when Ohio State beat him earlier this year, and he was crying on the sidelines. He was crying. He was acting. He was just acting.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 93.1 FM. When it's Chevy, it's Riverside.
With SRN News, I'm Bob Agnew in Washington. Another partial government shutdown is on the horizon as Republicans and Democrats remain deeply divided over federal agents' ability to wear masks. Congress working to avert that government shutdown by increasing funding for the Department of Homeland Security, but Democrats insist on some big changes in the way that ICE carries out its immigration raids. The DOJ has decided some lawmakers will be allowed to review unredacted files on the convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein. Meanwhile, in UK, more fallout from the Epstein case. The Prime Minister's very own chief of staff has resigned over the appointment of a new UK ambassador to the United States who's actually mentioned in those Epstein files. The Seattle Seahawks have won their second ever Super Bowl, winning Super Bowl 60 last night over the New England Patriots. This is SRN News.
Have you noticed losing weight is harder than it used to be? You're eating better and exercising, but the scale barely moves? The real problem isn't willpower, it's metabolic dysfunction. And standard dieting just makes it worse. PhD Weight Loss has helped thousands fix the root cause of stubborn weight. Take their free metabolic assessment at fixmyweightloss.com. Fixmyweightloss.com. It's quick, personalized, and shows why your body is resisting weight loss so you know exactly what to fix. Visit fixmyweightloss.com. That's fixmyweightloss.com.
From Lionsgate and Kingdom Story Company.
I Can Only Imagine by Mercy Me, one of the most beloved songs of all time.
I mean, what did you think was going to happen? You're just going to ride off into the sunset, no more struggles or pain?
Comes the highly anticipated I Can Only Imagine 2.
God is in fire, and it is beautiful.
Imagine what God can do again. I Can Only Imagine 2. In theaters February 20th. Rated PG. Parental guidance.
Rich Thomas Weather is brought to you by McPhillips Shinbaum.
My name is Aaron Luck, a partner with the law firm of McPhillips Shinbaum. If you or someone in your family has been seriously injured by the negligence of someone else, call me directly.
262-1911. Rich Thomas Weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We've got a warming trend underway starting today. Look for a sun and cloud mix. There could be a few sprinkles, especially early on, with a high temperature up to about 73 today. Partly cloudy, not as cool tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 49. We'll be in the mid-70s on Tuesday, low to mid-70s on Wednesday. I think there'll be partial sunshine tomorrow, then some spotty showers after midnight Tuesday night, and a few spotty showers around on Wednesday as well. But each day this week, temperatures will be 70 or above. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
CB&S Bank has digital banking solutions to help you keep up. Check balances, pay bills, and much more. Learn more at cbsbank.com. Charges and fees may apply from your cellular service provider. Contact your service provider for information. Member FDIC.
1819 News.
Last week, Democrat state lawmaker Merica Coleman filed a bill to bring a lottery and other gaming operations to Alabama. Coleman called it a clean lottery bill. State Senator Sam Gavan was on WVNN with Dale Jackson negating that claim from Coleman after he read the details of the legislation.
Beauty's in the eye of the beholder, right? I guess it's clean to her from the perspective of it's not cluttered with where the money's going to go. It's not cluttered with the details of the gaming operations, all of which, by the way, would be decided by a simple majority vote, not a 60% vote that a constitutional amendment required. So it's just hey, trust us. We're going to get this right. Not telling you what we're going to do, not telling you how we're going to do it, but trust us. Next legislature will get this right. I mean, there's got no chance of passage.
I'll be back with more Alabama stories after this.
Did you know that 70% of people experience a potentially traumatic event in their lifetime, and that 6 out of every 100 adults face PTSD every day? Help us bring hope to these survivors by signing up for your Alabama Distinctive PTSD Awareness license plate today. The great thing is you can sign up no matter when your current plate renews, and the first year is complimentary. All you need is your VIN number on hand. Drive awareness, drive hope, and customize your plate today at atease.org.
A Guntersville man was found guilty of murder by a Marshall County jury. Colt Carell was tried for the murder of Felicia Thompson of Athens that occurred back in October of 2023. Thompson was found dead in a ditch with severe bruising and broken bones that were determined to have caused her death. Carell's defense in this case was that Thompson's death occurred when she fell out of his truck. An investigation and autopsy is now underway in Gadsden after a body was found in the Coosa River. A fisherman found that body on Saturday. I'm Andrea Tice.
For more news affecting Alabamians, go to 1819news.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the daily newsletter.
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
The views and opinions of the following program are solely those of the host and other contributors. These do not necessarily represent those of Liberty Acquisitions 825, Blue Water Broadcasting, its management, staff, or any advertisers. It's time for Montgomery's conversational radio show. It's News and Views on News Talk 93.1 FM. To join the conversation, call 272-9228.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Joey Clark. Troy Carrico here in the studio with me. And I'm looking at a headline from CNBC. Cuba says international airlines can no longer refuel there as Trump turns up the pressure. They said they're running out of jet fuel. Yeah, the paradigm is shifting.
They're down to, I heard they're down to about 5 days of necessary oils and petroleum lubricant products for their entire country.
So you have an essay kind of, not just on Cuba, but the general realignment of, say, American foreign policy under Trump.
I do.
You want to share that with us?
Sure, I'd be happy to. Let's see here. All right. So this, Joey, what I did is, I'm kind of a fan of Machiavelli. I'm a fan of realpolitik. But what so many people go, why are we doing this? Why are we sending a carrier group? There's a big picture here, and you brought it up a month ago about the national defense strategy that was just newly minted for the country, and I think that this has helped shed a little light on what exactly is going on and why is it going on. So it's titled America's Rightful Place of International Primacy. Given the capture of Nicolas Maduro recently in Venezuela, the blockade of Cuba, seizures of Russian shadow fleet tankers ongoing, impending strikes on Iran, based upon the questions I'm receiving, I thought it would be helpful to understand how we find ourselves in a, quote, difficult, dynamic, and potentially dangerous paradigm of this current international arena. If I sound hawkish, then I have adequately relayed the sense of urgency for the United States and its future foreign policies. Since the Soviet Union's collapse in 1991, the U.S. has stood as the world's sole superpower, unmatched in military might, economic dominance, and cultural influence. Yet, successive administrations have shirked the responsibility that comes with this status, creating a vacuum of leadership and fueling global instability. The post-Cold War era offered America a historic opportunity to shape a stable world. Instead, leaders from both parties pursued half measures or outright retreat. Bill Clinton's reluctance to act decisively in Bosnia delayed peace, costing thousands of lives. George W. Bush's ambitions, nation building in Iraq and Afghanistan, of which I was a part of, drained resources while failing to secure lasting stability. Barack Obama's leading from behind theory in Libya and Syria emboldened autocrats and terrorists, while his pivot to Asia left Europe vulnerable to Russian aggression. Joe Biden's chaotic Afghanistan withdrawal in 2021 signaled weakness, inviting further challenges from adversaries like China and Iran. These missteps share a common flaw, Joey. A failure to wield America's unparalleled power with confidence and clarity, and may I add, ass-kicking violence when needed. That's 6, I think. The consequences are evident, Joey. China's rise unchecked by a distracted America threatens economic and military balance in the region of Indo-Pac and beyond. Russia's invasions of Georgia and Ukraine exposed the limits of Western resolve and, sadly, Western ability. Iran's nuclear ambitions and proxy wars flourished in the absence of America's deterrence until now. Meanwhile, global trade disputes and energy crises fester, as no other nation can replicate America's ability to coordinate and enforce international norms. The world craves a leader. It needs a leader. But America has too often abdicated, leaving allies uncertain and adversaries emboldened. Enter Donald Trump. His presidency, particularly his second term, marks a definitive turning point. No pun intended. Trump understands that superpower status demands action, not apology, as embodied in realpolitik. Under Trump, the U.S. is reclaiming its mantle, setting the stage for a more peaceful and prosperous global order by embracing its role as the indispensable nation. His America First doctrine is not isolationism, as many ignorant MAGA folks are suggesting. If they were paying attention, it would be obvious that Trump's move was prioritizing U.S. interests while leveraging its strength to stabilize the world. By rebuilding and rebranding the military, securing energy independence, and confronting adversaries head-on, Trump has restored America's credibility as a global force, not to be trifled with. If anyone believes there's a world where a nuclear-armed Iran is acceptable, then we must ensure that there is adequate remedial training for these myopic citizens. Consider Trump's foreign policy record. His maximum pressure campaign on Iran crippled its economy, curbing its regional mischief and influence. His brokering of the Abraham Accords normalized relations between Israel and several Arab states in the past, not to mention his Gaza projects. A diplomatic triumph that has reshaped Middle Eastern alliances without firing a single shot. Its efficacy is evident even during the most recent Israeli offensive against Iran recently. By walking away from the flawed idea and the flawed policies of Iran nuclear deal, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action, JCPA, and imposing tariffs on China, Trump signaled that America would no longer tolerate unfair trade or security threats. His direct engagement with North Korea's Kim Jong-un in the past, while unconventional, reduced tensions and opened channels for dialogue. These moves reflect a credible option and willingness to use America's power, be it diplomatic, economic, and militaristic, to enforce order and advance prestige and peace. Trump's approach also addresses the economic underpinnings of global stability. By prioritizing domestic manufacturing and energy production, he has strengthened America's economic leverage, reducing dependency on volatile regions. His trade policies, often criticized as protectionist, have forced nations like China and the EU to negotiate much fairer terms, fostering a more balanced global economy. A prosperous America, Trump recognizes, is the foundation for a prosperous world. Critics argue Trump's style is divisive, alienating allies, belittling, yet alliances thrive on strength, not on sentiment. NATO members increased defense spending under Trump's pressure immediately, bolstering a collective security mindset. His blunt rhetoric assured and reassured Eastern European nations wary of Russia, while his support for Taiwan and Japan does deter Chinese aggression right now. Allies respect and follow a leader who thinks, not one who placates. The world will be a much more peaceful place when America fully embraces its superpower role. Trump's policies, rooted in strength, pragmatism, and national interest, point the way. By deterring adversaries, rewarding allies, and securing economic dominance, America can stabilize conflict zones, promote free trade, and counter authoritarianism. A confident U.S. can mediate disputes from Ukraine to the South China Sea, preventing escalation. It can lead on energy innovation, reducing global reliance on unstable regimes, even though we have Maduro's oil now. It can champion liberty, inspiring nations to reject tyranny. The alternative is grim, a world of competing powers, unchecked aggression, and economic chaos. America's failure to lead since 1991 has created this monstrosity of uncertainty. Trump's vision is correcting it. By owning its superpower status, America can forge a future where peace and prosperity prevail, not through endless wars or naive idealism, but through the resolute exercise of its unmatched strength. The world awaits its leader. Under Trump, America's finally stepping up, and what treasures and wonders await our reinvigorated republic.
Yeah, and I've been, as you know, we've been doing it together on the show.
We certainly have.
There is a internal logic that rejects sort of the neoconservative, like the whole old Charles Krauthammer unipolar moment thing. But then where we got a little too confident in our ability to shape the world. But it also rejects, let's say, the non-interventionists. We never should do anything at all, or the process arguments of the Congress must always declare any sort of military action abroad. I think it is a restructure, a retrenchment based on new technology and just the realities on the board. And, I'll put it this way. I think multipolarity it's a descriptive thing, not a prescriptive thing. I don't want multipolarity. I think it was just inevitable.
Sure.
And so the United States needs, to your point, to have that strength to be able to stabilize things in a new way without overplaying our hand with older institutions, international institutions that have worn out their welcome.
Well, let's just use the Maduro capture and the Venezuelan acquiescence as a snapshot, a thumbnail sketch. Look at the response and the reactions and the willingness now to do things to what it's a credibility. I've said this before, having superior ass-kicking violent force is only advantageous if you have the will to use it.
Yes.
And that's what he is.
You can have all the capacity and capability, but if you don't have
that's
the will.
what we've had in the past, and
right.
everyone's respected it. So.
Right, and then also the wisdom to not go too far with it. Like, and I think this
Agreed.
is, you can look back at certain moments, like think of like those press conferences Rumsfeld did before Iraq, and just how he's smarter than everybody in the room, and he's so confident. And, you know, this is just like, okay, that's the sort of hubris that also gets us into trouble. And, you know, you might think Trump is like the walking definition of hubris, but I think he's got a lot more, he doesn't always show it in public, but I think behind the scenes, he is considering options a lot more than people
suspect.
he
is too. And you know what? I think that image he purports helps to make a uncertainty amongst his opponents to say, well, maybe we need to, and behind the scenes, he's doing more than we see.
Now, to double down on your point of view, let's apply it to economics. This is an article that came out in the Financial Times called Bash All Day, Buy All Night by Ruchir Sharma. Why foreigners keep pouring money into America. This is published just not long ago.
Okay.
When it comes to the U.S., investors the world over now love to bash all day, buy all night. Traveling recently across Asia, Europe, and the Middle East, I was struck by the rising intensity of complaints about America under Donald Trump, from its tariffs to designs on Greenland and apparent disregard for the old global order. Polls show the same erosion, with favorable opinions of the U.S. plummeting worldwide. Then I got back to New York, looked at the numbers, and saw that even as opinions of the U.S. plunge, the money is flowing in like never before. Last year, foreigners poured around $1.6 trillion into U.S. financial assets, including nearly $700 billion into stocks. Both new records and significantly higher than the levels of recent years. The story is much the same for U.S. corporate bonds, with foreign purchases up sharply. But for a brief sell America wave last April, foreigners were big buyers in every month of 2025. They were aggressively buying the dip, just like U.S. retail traders. From Singapore to Seoul, they are staying up all night to trade on increasingly popular after-hours U.S. trading platforms. Among the few foreigners sitting out this buying spree were central banks, which have been moving money from the dollar into gold. And the one new hint of caution in 2025 was that global investors were hedging more of their unprecedentedly large dollar exposure than in the year before. Foreign institutions alone now own nearly 15% of U.S. stocks, a record share and up by half from the level a decade ago. So why would people buy so heavily in a country they profess to increasingly despise? One reason is inertia. Until recently, the U.S. had steadily outperformed the rest of the world since the global financial crisis of 2008, so many investors are still chasing past performance. They have come to assume that there is no alternative to investing in the U.S. markets, given their vast scale and liquidity. The rest of the world also remains in awe of the U.S. lead in technology. While Europeans have long been perhaps the most enthusiastic buyers of American tech stocks, remarkably the single biggest source of foreign flows into the U.S. stock market last year was from South Korea, where the rage for assets tied to America or AI is acute. Market trends don't last forever, and the bash all day, buy all night habit is not likely to be different. The mania for AI stocks in the U.S. is raising existential questions, since it's not clear which companies will win the AI arms race, or that they will be American. China has shown it can compete, with some of its AI models offering similar performance at cheaper training costs. If the AI mania fades, American assets could be hit hardest. More than half of U.S. economic growth last year can be explained by the billions U.S. firms are investing in AI infrastructure and the waves of capital flowing into U.S. financial assets. Meanwhile, in response to America's market dominance and unpredictability, other governments are looking to diversify their risk. They're cutting bilateral trade deals, deregulating, and investing more in defense and local technology. Despite the heavy capital flows into the U.S. last year, markets in the rest of the world outperformed the U.S. by wide margins. The momentum is building as growth picks up outside the U.S. This year and next, economies in the rest of the world are expected to grow at 1.5 times the pace of the U.S., widening this gap compared with recent years. And through 2027, average or equal-weighted corporate earnings are set to grow twice as fast in emerging markets and 50% faster in other developed markets. America's spending habits rest more than ever on the sentiment of strangers. Last year, foreign portfolio inflows were large enough to finance the entire U.S. current account deficit and then some. The last time this happened was the mid-2000s when the U.S. markets were not as big, and neither was the deficit. The scale of U.S. dependence on speculative foreign capital has never been so high. Notwithstanding all the America bashing, foreigners now own nearly $70 trillion in U.S. assets, double the level a decade ago. And in the last year, most of those flows arrived as hot money. Foreign direct investment in factories and businesses which cannot withdraw quickly was much weaker than the portfolio flows into assets such as stocks and bonds, which can reverse in an instant. If the world cuts back on buying America all night long, the impact could dramatically shock U.S. markets. But I think when I look at Besson and team and Trump, they are banking on those factories and those constant investments, and they're banking on the idea that, yeah, these folks may not like it, but at least we're not pretending to have the liberal international order, which was to the benefit of everybody at the cost of the United States in particular. So it's interesting dynamics as this new multipolar world rises, whether it's in financial markets or it's in the geopolitical space. And I like at least that the Trump administration seems to be going a unique way with its own internal logic. And it's not just what we've seen before, and it's not a faulty, false ideological approach. It is much more practical, transactional, even if you want to use that word.
It's empirical. It's grounded in empirical truths, I believe.
And when you have somebody like Marco Rubio being able to sell that policy to so much of the world and the American people, I think that bodes well. And when you have J.D. Vance also pursuing this idea, I think it bodes well for the future.
It does.
Because the problem with the United States is
every 4 years.
Every 4 years, things can change.
That's the problem.
All of a sudden, the thing we were doing for the last 4 years, we're doing something completely opposite. And I saw Viktor Orban, the Hungary's leader, talking about that just the other day, saying we can't put all our eggs in the American breadbasket.
No. He also said that Ukraine was their enemy.
Yeah.
Did you see that? I've been tracking that. But you know what's funny, though, Joey, is when you say these things, it becomes very apparent to me that this is so easy to do, but why has it not been done that we don't wield our power in a way? Is it might for right, or does might make right, and those kind of things? And we have gotten away from, like you said, the esoteric arguments of philosophy of it. This is a reality. This works, and we are going to do it. And I think for Trump, at least when it comes to Europe and all these things, it's like spoiled kids. They've had a ride for so long that they can't just fathom an idea. Do you think he's going to take Greenland? No. All right? He's doing that. He's using that as a foil, Joey. And he still uses it as a foil to get their asses in gear and moving and doing stuff. So.
Yeah. Oh, it's an interesting dance that is going on, and we'll see if it actually translates to results here before the midterms. And I think right now, I think it will, but
I do too.
We shall see. Now, story here locally before we hit this bottom of the hour break.
What do we got?
Caleb Taylor at 1819 News just putting this out. I had a few folks in my ear about this, or in my text inbox, talking about this. I was waiting for Caleb's write-up. But Jackson Hospital CEO, Blue Cross has brought this hospital to the brink of closure.
Wow.
Blue Cross and Blue Shield has brought Jackson Hospital to the brink of closure, according to Jackson Hospital CEO John Quillivan, if that's how it's said. Jackson Hospital filed a lawsuit in December against Blue Cross and Blue Shield over alleged, quote-unquote, unfair reimbursement rates. The CEO of Jackson Hospital told 1819 News on Friday, quote, there's just no justification for it on the part of Blue Cross. They have literally brought this hospital to the brink of closure. I think the big story is Jackson Hospital is on the brink of closure because of Blue Cross's historic and continuing refusal to pay us competitive rates, the CEO of Jackson Hospital said. We did our own analysis, and we had a very limited ability to do that, and so it was a very small sample size, and we determined it looks like they're paying Baptist, our local competitor, about 30% more than they pay us. Wow. We commissioned a study by an independent third party, and it's actually a lot more than that. They confirmed that we were right, but discovered that the difference is even greater. We've met with Blue Cross. They've been unwilling to increase our rates to the degree we think they should, so we're now pursuing it in the courts. Quinlivan said that they were willing to negotiate, but they were, quote-unquote, a long way from reaching an agreement with Blue Cross. We're willing to negotiate. We're willing to talk. they'd have to substantially increase their offer beyond what it is now. Then there's the whole issue of damages, because this has gone on for over a decade. I think we're a long way from what would be necessary to settle this case. A large taxpayer-funded assistance package from the city of Montgomery County, and state of Alabama is expected to be finalized later in February. Sophie Martin, a Blue Cross spokesperson, said in a response to 1819 News, Blue Cross is not the reason Jackson Hospital may close, and the claim that Jackson Hospital's competitors are being paid significantly more ignores how hospital reimbursement works, something Mr. Quinlivan knows. First, Blue Cross customers and revenue are less than 25% of Jackson Hospital's patients and revenue, not even close to majority. More importantly, Blue Cross currently pays Jackson Hospital above the average rates that similarly situated community hospitals receive, and has repeatedly worked with Jackson Hospital in recognition of its financial challenges. Hospitals are not and should not be paid identically. Reimbursement is necessarily tied up to patient acuity, service mix, teaching status, and the level of specialized infrastructure required to treat complex cases. Jackson Hospital provides important community care, but it does not carry the same volume of high acuity trauma, transplant, and tertiary services as regional referral hospitals, and industry standard payment systems approximately reflect those differences. Jackson Hospitals, again, this is Blue Cross's statement, financial distress isn't because of its revenue. From 2011 to 2022, the hospital's revenue nearly doubled, going from $185 million to $333 million, an average increase of about 8%. The financial difficulties it faces stem from years of operational decisions, payer mix, and market changes well beyond any single insurer. Blue Cross has consistently worked to try to keep Jackson Hospital viable while also protecting Alabama families and employers from unfair cost shifting. CEO of Jackson Hospital said in a recent AL.com op-ed, yes, Blue Cross Blue Shield accounts for approximately 25% of Jackson Hospital's patients. Elsewhere in the country, Blue Cross Blue Shield represents even less, 15 to 20% on average. Volume is not the issue. Payment is. Hospitals survive on a simple economic reality. Medicare, Medicaid, and self-pay patients all generate losses. Commercial insurance is the only payer category that keeps hospitals afloat by offsetting those losses. When commercial insurers underpay, hospitals bleed cash. When a dominant insurer underpays, hospitals suffocate, Quinlivan said. Nationally, Blue Cross plans reimburse hospitals at up to 240% of Medicare rates. In Alabama, where Blue Cross Blue Shield wields near total market control, approximately 88% of the commercial insurance market, that rate drops to about 140% of Medicare. Jackson Hospital receives even less. In fact, outpatient rates at Jackson Hospital have been less than Medicare. This is not a market failure. It is market power, monopoly power, and its consequences are devastating. Jackson Hospital is at risk of closing not because of mismanagement or inefficiency, but because a dominant insurer refuses to pay rates that cover the cost of care. So the fight continues there. And by the way, I think there's also, I don't know, the city of Montgomery better hurry up because they're running out of money already. And we seem to be dragging our feet for some reason.
Who do you believe?
I don't know. Immediately I will say, I don't know.
I think
this isn't my world.
I think there's a truth in the middle there. And
yes.
I think that here's the deal. If you've ever went to Jackson emergency room or you ever gone to a Baptist, it's two different worlds. You get in quicker at Jackson. They take care of you. That's a goat rope down there on Southern Boulevard. I know some people go to East, Baptist East, but it's, you know who they're in cahoots with, UAB system. So I think there's big business there, and I think that Blue Cross Blue Shield's not being honest about how they're doing it.
But this delay in government monies actually moving to Jackson apparently is delayed.
Over what?
Their bankruptcy exit. And they are running through money from the private folks standing them up.
Interesting.
The Jackson Group, which is not affiliated until now.
Right.
What a mess, man.
It is.
Yeah, no, my sense is I am skeptical of Blue Cross Blue Shield because of that market power. I am skeptical. And it could be like you get down to the bottom of this and it's not really like some nefarious plot on their part, But it is just, this is how the business currently works and structured. And if we're going to reimburse these big players in certain ways who do have the advanced technology and all the things you heard the Blue Cross spokesman lay out there, then we're going to have to find places where we're pinching. So, I don't know. I think you're probably onto something with it somewhere in the middle.
So I'm good friends with a very, very prestigious brain and spine surgeon here in town. I spend a lot of time with them, and we were talking Brian Dawson was with us when we were talking about this, and he was lamenting the fact the reason we're here is because doctor-owned hospitals went away. For-profit hospitals started getting absorbed by holding companies, big businesses like we talked about. Bean counters take over now. Coding changes constantly to keep them off balance so they don't have to pay as much. Mm-hmm. And what it's doing is the business side is dictating to the medical provider side, here's what you will do, here's what you won't do. So you're not getting, Luigi Mangione might have something to say about this. I'm just saying, I think that there's a degree of frustration, and it's with the doctors too, because the doctors have to practice at a hospital, and guess what? The hospital controls how they practice.
272-9228 if you have any takes on this, folks, this latest back and forth. And what a mess. If Montgomery loses this hospital.
Absolutely.
Because
it's not good.
Government didn't move fast enough, or because Blue Cross Blue Shield's playing hardball or whatever. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I think just this is devastating, and now I'm worried. My suspicion is people are using the potential pain as a negotiating tool, which is not surprising, but it's also deeply, deeply frustrating.
Yes, it is.
At this moment. You bring in all these different interests and players, and they all want to use it
to their advantage
in one way or the other. Got to hit this break. But first, this part of the program brought to you by Pest Pro Services. And there at Pest Pro, Ashley and that great team are ready to help you out with whether you're looking for just a good pest control company to do the basic pest control services that you need. They've got this new monthly subscription model where you can control cost over the entire year. But it could be time for you to get a termite inspection. Like, you're just due.
Definitely.
Well, they can not only do that inspection, they can lay down year-round protection, essentially bait, so termites hit that, or they hit anything valuable on your property, and Pest Pro can come take care of them. Or could be you're just looking to get a little critter out of your house. Like somebody just set up shop in your attic, and they're making noise all through the middle of the night. Or maybe you just keep seeing little droppings or something in a particular cupboard, and I think we might have mice. Pest Pro can take care of getting those little critters with their wildlife control services out of your home. Don't let them make a home out of your home. Get them out. So if you want to learn more, you can always go to ppsriverregion.com or search Pest Pro Services on the Book of Faces, or just call them direct at 265-9990. That's 265-9990. And be sure to tell them that Joey, that fellow on the radio, sent you.
He may not know whether he's coming or going, but whether you're going to work or coming home, Greg Budell is there. Mornings, 6 till 9, and afternoons, 3 till 6. Only on News Talk 93.1 FM, WACV.
Hi there, I'm Kim Williams with Alabama Home Mortgage.
And I'm Madeline Cannon. It's true, rates aren't as low as they have been for the past couple of years, but there are still many homeowners that could benefit from refinancing their current mortgage. There are a lot of things in life that are out of our control, but your mortgage rate is not one of them. If you currently have an adjustable rate mortgage, then you owe it to yourself to give us a call.
Adjustable rate mortgages make sense for some people in stable markets, but in this wild, ever-changing rate environment, it only makes sense to secure a fixed interest rate. A fixed interest rate will give you the peace of mind that your rate is locked. Your rate will not be subject to change with the political and economic tides.
At Alabama Home Mortgage, you can personalize your term. We offer 8-year to 30-year mortgages and everything in between. Grab your mortgage statement and give us a call.
Call Alabama Home Mortgage, the #1 mortgage lender in Alabama, today at 567-4223, or visit us online at myalabamahomemortgage.com. That's Alabama Home Mortgage, because, folks, there is a difference in mortgage companies. NMLS 1586-36A, Equal Housing Lender.
It's time to show your sweetheart how much you care with a Jenny Lynn's floral creation for Valentine's Day. Skip the grocery store flowers and make one quick call, 285-1000. Roses, lilies, beautiful bouquets, and gift baskets designed just for your sweetie. Call Jenny Lynn's Creations, 285-1000.
For too long, Alabama's statewide news companies have shamed us for our conservative Christian values. Alabama deserves a news company that cherishes our culture, a company that isn't bought and paid for by the powers that be. 1819 News is that company. Run by Alabamians for Alabamians, 1819 News celebrates what is good and beautiful about our state, while exposing those who work against our values in secret. Just go to 1819news.com to learn more. Subscribe to our newsletter. That's 1819news.com. This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number one in the number two business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
Weather, a service of H&H Carpets, where right now, get a load of this, listen close, you get a house full of carpet for $19.95 installed. Unbelievable. They're located at 6450 Atlanta Highway, just across from Walmart.
Rich Thomas weather.
Well, hi, everybody. We've got a warming trend underway starting today. Look for a sun and cloud mix. There could be a few sprinkles, especially early on, with a high temperature up to about 73 today. Partly cloudy, not as cool tonight. Overnight low temperature down to about 49. We'll be in the mid-70s on Tuesday, low to mid-70s on Wednesday. I think there'll be partial sunshine tomorrow, then some spotty showers after midnight Tuesday night, and a few spotty showers around on Wednesday as well. But each day this week, temperatures will be 70 or above. From the Blue Water Weather Center, this is Rich Thomas.
Live local talk. The River Region's only 24-hour News Talk FM station. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Joey Clark.
Welcome back. Let's go right to the phones and let's talk to Ashley, who wants to jump in on this Blue Cross Blue Shield Jackson Hospital conversation. Hey, Ashley.
Hey, how are you doing? Hey, I see you with the Fort Stewart hat on.
Oh, you see 3rd Infantry Division, yeah. 2nd Brigade Combat Team Spartans, the Rock of the Marne.
Rock of the Marne, yes. Yes. Anywho, being that I have worked within the mental health field and was also a certified assistant for many years, I also kind of want to see, because at the beginning of the year, you look at your end of the fiscal year for the previous years, and you're supposed to do an approximate needs and services, reports of like how much cost it's going to be for the next year. You're supposed to compare the census and birth rate, vital records, the cost of adjustment for medical care needing to be projected. I'm wondering if they've just not been accurately guesstimating on all this, because as a service provider, you have to say, okay, I'm going to roughly have this amount of patients. The cost for care roughly for each single individual is this. I'm wondering if somebody is just not handling that properly and not looking at the full scope, if that could also be a big play into it.
Yeah, there's some answer deep in here. Now, like, is it poor management, like you're suggesting, like they just really aren't planning this out, or it could be a combination of both. It could be Blue Cross and is also playing a little bit of hardball here with these guys.
Well, it could be, but you have to report and kind of put your foot down with insurances. Honestly, out of the different insurances, the hard ball to me would be Medicare or Medicaid and Medicare with all the red tape, and then ironically, TRICARE Humana.
Still government run,
very
though, right?
hard.
Yeah, still a government. Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah. So it's the government red tape that goes out, but across the board, Blue Cross Blue Shield does pay out more percentage-wise than any of the other ones.
This is true.
Where, like, let's say for $140, let's say if as a therapist you charge $140 an hour, Blue Cross Blue Shield will give you $125.
That's pretty good.
Out of that.
Well,
So where Medicaid will you say 125 or 140, you might get 60.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, it all pegs
So,
off
I mean,
with the
it-
government. It goes upward a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have said it before. I honestly think that a lot of this could, preventative-wise, gene site testing, knowing what actual your body will respond to and what treatment, that could be a big difference here in Alabama with treatment. And, I mean, they do it for cancer patients, and to see which treatment is going to best be the avenue for your body to respond to. If we did that with all preventative medicine, I bet you anything would find out that the cost would actually go down if you use it as a preventative tool.
Well, we'll see.
I've talked to before.
No, it's
about
all right.
that.
It's I appreciate the insight, and I mean, I just know what the end of the day, you cannot lose Jackson Hospital.
No.
And something's got to give here.
Up with a scenario, they've got to restructure, maybe say, hey, look, sit down, let's go through a full audit on all sides, as people's health is going to take a plummet.
So, speaking of what you were talking about, doing full-on reviews, they've done that because they had to do this restructuring and this thing.
Yeah.
But here's what I've heard from, once again, a very reliable source who was on the board of directors, is chairman of the board of directors of Jackson. Not this iteration, but the iteration before the CEO really didn't. They brought him from a small regional area. He did not understand the nuances of things. And my understanding is good intentions, but really some policies that took them down a bad path. Yeah. So it's now they got damage control to do big time. So
well, I appreciate the call, Ashley.
Thanks, Ash.
Thank you. Y'all have a good day.
You too.
Let's go to TS. Hey, TS.
Hey, Joey. How are you guys today?
Doing all right.
Good.
Thanks for taking my call. All I'm going to say is back in the day when I had Blue Cross Blue Shield, one of my beloved specialists used to refer to them as the big blue gorilla. And honestly, that's what they are, in my opinion.
Bullies.
And now that I'm a retired teacher and I'm having to deal with not getting compensation when in 2027, retired teachers, we don't get a cost of living. And in 2027, we're going to have to find, I think it's $300 or $400 out of our pocket to pay for our medical expenses. Wow. So I'm about to write my legislature and beg, just say, hey, can you think of us a little bit here out there and just see what you can come up with? Because we're not with Blue Cross anymore. I think this year we keep flipping and flopping, playing the money dollar deal. We're with Humana again. But that's all I wanted to say, is it's just a monopoly, and it's about the mighty dollar. And I love Jackson Hospital. So I'll let you guys go. Thanks for your time.
Appreciate it, TS.
Thank you very much.
No, I think a lot of folks from every which angle are feeling the squeeze.
They are.
Perhaps the entire structure of our healthcare system is unsound, to put it nicely.
She said it best. She said that basically her doctor said they're a bully. They're a bully. They can do what they want. They're big and strong.
Well, we got to hit this break. We'll be right back.
Want to carry News Talk in your pocket? Download the News Talk 93.1 app from the App Store. Available on iPhone and Android. Never miss a moment. Download now.
"2026 marks 60 years that hope has had a home in Alabama. At the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches, children who've lost everything through no fault of their own have found something priceless. A safe place to live, a loving Christian family, and the chance to simply be kids again. Here, boys and girls grow up surrounded by care, guidance, and faith, learning right from wrong, learning responsibility, learning they are valued and that their lives have purpose. As the Alabama Sheriffs have believed for 6 decades, it's easier to build boys and girls than to repair men and women. These former ranchers are now teachers, parents, business owners, and leaders, living proof that love, structure, and faith can change a life forever. As the Alabama Sheriff's Youth Ranches celebrate 60 years of serving Alabama's children, you can help ensure the next child has the same chance. Learn how you can make a difference at alabamasheriffsyouthranches.org. 60 years of building lives, and we're just getting started.
When it's time to replace an old window or door, you want expert craftsmanship and proven experience. You want Davis Door and Sash. Right now, take advantage of our limited time promotion. 10% off materials on new energy efficient doors and windows. Voted best in the River region for windows and installation in 2024 and 25. Davis Door and Sash would love to work for you. Call 334-288-6010 or visit davisdoorandsashalabama.com. Davis Door and Sash, the perfect fit for your home.
The Health and Wealth Show. The Health and Wealth Show. The show so nice, we said it twice. Weekday evenings at 6 on News Talk 93.1 WACV. The Health.
Break it up, son. Joke's over, hey?
This hour of News and Views is brought to you by our good friends at Cole Plumbing, 279-8919. Cole Plumbing is number 1 in the number 2 business. You don't have to dig a hole. They have proprietary pipelining technology. Ask them about their tankless water heaters. Remember, when you have trouble with your bowl, call on Cole.
On FM, on your smartphone, and online, the River Region's most trusted voice. News Talk 93.1 FM WACV.
Welcome back, folks. Let's go right to the phones and talk to Ray Bowles from Prattville Carpet. Hey, Ray.
Hey.
Man, it is a beautiful day out here today.
It is.
I know y'all are trapped in a little box and you can't see anything, but it's just the skies are clear. I'm out here on the other side of Toggleville fixing to hit the woods, go hunting. First time all year. And, we're going to see if we can kill us a deer this afternoon.
Nice, good. Happy hunting.
I'm going to sit in the tree, and there's a secret to deer hunting. She sits and say, "Here, deer, 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 deer." Is that right, Jim?
Man, you couldn't kill a deer, boy.
That's
What's wrong with you?
I think he's serious about that.
Poor old Jim, he's been trying to get me a big deer all these years, and every time I come out here, I'll take one of the girls, and they'll shoot a big deer. I've not had one yet. I missed a big one last year. The scope was so far off, it wouldn't have hit the broadside of a barn. So we're going to try it again this year. But if y'all need a floor, everybody else is working, so don't tell them I'm in the woods. I told them I'd see them in the morning. I didn't tell them where I was going, so don't rat me out.
So just call up the store direct. Don't bother you. Direct 285-8117.
Yes, unless you want to text me on 799-3561, because I'll be sitting in the tree stand and I get really bored really quick.
He's like taking a kid out of here.
Here, dear. Goodness gracious.
Well, Ray, did you zero this rifle? Is it zeroed to the scope this time?
No, I didn't. Jim did. So
Okay,
I
trust
accurate.
Jim more than I
This
trust
thing's
you, and I
good
don't even know who he is. So,
Yeah, Jim, and this thing will shoot up to 1,000 yards, no problem.
all right, good to go.
Well, good luck.
Yeah, so, 6.5? Yeah, 6.5.
6.5 Grendel.
Yeah, no,
Grendel.
it's
Ask him if
on.
it's a Grendel or if it's a Creedmoor.
What gun is that? A Grendel? 6.5 Creedmoor.
Yeah, Creedmoor. That's a good gun. It's a good gun.
Yes, it's smooth shooting. So, all right, guys. Well, if y'all need a floor, call us.
Appreciate you, Ray. Again, that's 285-8117. And be sure to tell them you're Ray Bowles on the air about to go deer hunting. Yeah, I didn't do that much. I mean, my dad took me out a few times, and I think I figured out about my dad. He just wanted a quiet place to sit
He liked
in
to
the
go
woods.
into the woods. He liked going to the woods.
He just not
Some
have-
people like being in the
And you know, the older I get it.
Yeah.
Like just not around anybody, just
be all right, even if it's freezing cold and you're all bundled up and you're some tree stand, whatever. There's something about being away from the modern world.
I agree.
So did we learn anything today?
Well, we learned a lot.
Yeah, we were all over the place. Well, we met Hampton Harris, who's
Yes,
running
I
for
really
Congress in
that's-
District 2.
I like him. He's a fine young man. Fine young man.
And no other challengers. I think it's pretty much set in stone that he will be going up against
He'll
Shamar
be the
Figures in the
Republican.
general.
Yeah, he'll be the Republican nominee for it. So, yeah. I think also what's interesting about that situation is it's coming down to me, and I think we talked about this before the show. There's going to be a ruling coming down pretty soon on this redistricting thing.
Will it be Clarence Thomas's last hurrah?
I know, and he's going to write they say he's writing.
He's been gunning to write this exact majority opinion for like 30 years, laying down the groundwork. These folks move slow because they're for life, so they can think about a 10, 20, 30-year time frame in order to let the argument sizzle and settle. And I think the key vote will be Kavanaugh. And the Alabama case from a couple of years back, Kavanaugh wrote a concurrent opinion that essentially was winking at, we're going to go along with this, but Thomas might have a point here.
Yeah.
So we'll see. And that will change not just Alabama politics, but American politics in a massive way.
I've heard as many as 40 to 45 seats could change in this whole ruling, so we'll see.
Right, and you saw the Democrats in Virginia saying, this is so fair. A state that went 54-46 Democrat is now going to have a 10-to-1 map. 10 Democrats, 1 Republican.
Yeah, that's real fair.
That's so fair. Fair representation for communities across the Commonwealth.
The Commonwealth is the key word. It is now a Commonwealth.
Yeah, so that has to give. Something has to give in that regard. Well, we learned a little bit about the Super Bowl and competing halftime shows and all sorts of things.
Yeah, we did.
Well, and I didn't play this yet. This is Kid Rock. Yeah. And apparently this is like the little extra something he added to a classic song of his that, it seems to be all the rage that more and more folks are publicly talking about turning their life and giving their belief to Jesus Christ. Let's listen in.
You know, I awoke one Sunday morning all alone with this song stuck in my head. And in that moment, something or someone spoke to me. They said there was still a verse that needed to be written for this song. And to get up and write it down. There's a book that's sitting in your house somewhere that could use some dusting off. There's a man who died for all our sins, hanging from the cross. You can give your life to Jesus, and he'll give you a second chance till you can't take it. If you got a chance, take it while you got a chance. If you got a dream, chase it, 'cause a dream won't chase you back. If you're gonna love somebody, hold them as long and as strong and as close as you can. Take care.
That was from Kid Rock's performance, and he did. He added that verse, and I think, it speaks volumes as opposed to, I guess, where twerking is cool, like Bad Bunny, and like, I don't know. To me, again, I'm turned into an. Yeah, I know.
You don't do that stuff. Kids are watching that, man.
Yeah, and you're gonna get pink eye.
Good thing they don't speak Spanish.
Right. Bad Bunny's got pink eye, folks. Wonder how that happened.
Something else pink, probably.
Yeah. But it's also like, okay, how many generations of people are we going to see just like shake their ass?
Well, you know what's funny?
And how that still entertains
your
people.
idea of twerking kind of encapsulates this to your point. People are bashing, who cares about Kid Rock? He's 55 years old. Well, first of all, I'm 55, okay? Right? And by the way, this dude's got more genuineness in him than all those fakes that they have together, and I think that appeals to people.
And we also learned from Alan Mendenhall that the Melania documentary is worth
really
your
good.
time.
It's really good.
Yeah.
The director is, he was kind of ostracized from Hollywood, but he's actually really good.
Ratner?
Yeah. He's
Oh,
good.
yeah. Yeah, but I think Alan built a little bit of thirst for me.
Okay, so
I might
she's
have to
an
break my rule.
She's
about,
an ethereal creature
Right.
occupying a higher realm and celestials.
They built
That's
mystique
cool.
and
That's
aura
cool.
about her.
Yes,
Yeah.
she is cool.
Yeah, no, and we'll see if it did a lot better than a lot of people thought it would in the box
sure did.
office. I think
Sure
the top documentary in something like 15 years.
That's what I heard.
Which is pretty crazy. I'm amazed it did better than What Is a Woman. That documentary kicked butt. Matt Walsh's.
Yeah.
Not that long ago.
That was good.
And by the way, that is continuing to be, I think, one of the major successes, especially people that were there early.
Yeah.
I think the culture is fading away from the whole transgender, especially mutilation of children. I mean, it goes back through history. There's always been gender bending and effeminate men and masculine women and all those things in between. But to push this as a wretched ideology, especially to encourage it to impressionable minds, there's something just very dark and
the
twisted about it.
commercialization of it, selling the T-shirts and all the things at Target. Listen, man, that's demonic. That is Asmodeus, who loves children sacrifices.
And then, of course, we've got the Olympics continuing.
Yes.
So we're going to watch some luge or some...
Watch some downhill. Let's watch some downhill skiing so we can see.
And apparently the speed skating was going on earlier. We watched some speed skating. Watch some of those athletes.
I want to watch the long jumpers so we can see how their suits are helping them get the lift they need.
And on that, just inappropriate note, just so inappropriate.
It's a scientific fact.
Well, we need to get out of here.
Yeah.
I appreciate your time. Appreciate also your insights with your op-ed you read.
Appreciate all you
And
do.
I guess I'll see you again on Friday.
God willing. Inshallah, brother. Inshallah.
Y'all stay tuned. Happy Hour with Greg Budell and Pamela, the whole gang. They are next.
Broadcasting from the Riverside Chevrolet Master Control Center, this is WACV Cusana, News Talk 90.